Sometimes I dream that he is me. You got to see that's how I dream to be. I dream I move. I move. I dream I groove. Like Mike. If I could be like. Yeah, I try.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ming and Mike show, broadcasting live from the home of a shared universe. My name is Ming Chen, sitting across from me.
It's me. It's Mike Zapsik, for God's
I feel
sakes.
weird. I'm not behind the board today.
I know.
Where you got your kid?
We're training the up-and-comers. Children are our future, so I weep for the future. No,
Are you Whitney Houston?
Yes, that's me. I'm Whitney Houston. I'm not going
Daniel
there.
Zapsik, the greatest love of all. It's yeah. What's up, everybody? And
I will always love you, Daniel.
Yeah, you say hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
Wow.
go. He's alive, everybody.
Yeah, he takes after his father in the gregarious column.
He's alive, but not as angry. Are you teaching him to be as
No, I'm letting life teach him to be angry.
It's probably a good idea.
Boy.
But without further ado, we have a guest.
We have a very special guest.
Waiting to get in here for years.
Yes,
And
you've been asking for.
been.
It's been about 8 years.
Okay.
So with no further ado, this is Pizza John.
Hello, podcast universe.
Get in there. You got to get on top of it.
Yeah, or you can crank him
Nah,
up.
you're good.
You can sit back. Pizza
No,
John,
I'm here.
you're here finally.
He's not a figment of my imagination.
After
I
all
swear to
these
God.
years. Would you like to give him an introduction?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Pizza and I, this is going way back. When I first quit drinking, I was a lost puppy. I was a lost soul. I had to learn how to do everything in life all over again. Not like walk or take a dump.
Right.
But-
Example.
Be a conscientious worker, and show up for your
on
job.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. Pay
Not
taxes.
never showing up on time was never a problem.
Okay.
But showing up was. When I showed up, I was always early because you got to be. It's 15 minutes early. You're on time. You're on time. You're late. And if you're late, then you're fired.
All right. Thank you,
So,
Vince Lombardi.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. So, and I had no idea how to do the simple shit in life.
All right. Example.
Go to work.
Wear under
Interact with
bathe.
people. Doing laundry was never really a problem.
Okay.
Because whenever I got a paycheck, I would just buy new clothes.
Oh,
It made sense.
Okay.
When you're drinking, it makes sense. So when I quit drinking, pizza was what would you call yourself? Not so much a mentor, but you were like that guy who was ahead of me. You're ahead of me.
Yes, I was 3 weeks ahead of you.
You were 3
probably.
weeks ahead of me, but you seem to have gotten some of the stuff down. So we didn't share a sponsor in the beginning.
No.
We went to AA. So we didn't share a sponsor in the beginning, but you hung out with my sponsor a lot. And so we found ourselves in each other's company constantly. We liked each other. We got along well.
Cooking and comic books.
And boom, I moved in with him.
Cool. So you're a comic book fan as well.
Oh, sure.
So I became
Nice.
Pizza was my roommate. I slept on the couch. You remember that first apartment? Holy God.
How did you guys meet?
And through my sponsor, through AA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in the program as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Who is more messed up?
yeah, that's like
It's an ongoing story.
that's like asking.
All right. Is it like a flip flop? Like it depending on the day.
It's like seeing two corpses on the floor and being like,
Sure,
which
which
one's
one's-
more dead?
Which one's worse
yeah.
off? It's like
Yeah.
we're both.
They're
okay.
both dead. So yeah, and he was ahead of me, and by a matter of months. By
Right.
you were 9 months ahead of me. So
Yeah. Okay. I mean, to be a sponsor, you have to be progressed further.
No, Pizza was
than-
never my sponsor. I'm not that insane.
Okay.
But my sponsor was who ended up being his sponsor eventually. But I'm not going to name his name is Johnny.
do they usually encourage if you're in the program that you live together?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
I figure it's
two
actually.
sickies don't make a wellie.
That's
No,
what I'm
that's-
thinking. So
no.
did you? I don't know. Did anyone discourage this, or they're like,
no.
"Hey,
Actually,
you
everyone's
grown
like,
men."
you know what? You can't make more of a mess out of your life than if you guys are roommates.
Sure.
So,
Okay, fair enough.
we
Continue.
did well. You know, we ended up in a deluxe apartment on
We added to the
Prospect.
family.
Was this local?
This was over in Highlands. There was a place called The Loft.
Okay.
It was in St. Andrew's Church, and it was actually literally above the church. And people would go there.
They'll get some more, maybe some message from the Lord.
Yes,
coming up from the rafters. and into
Probably
your
not, but
apartment.
no, a lot of bad decisions were made in that place.
Oh boy.
But there was a meeting there every night, and I would hit a meeting every night.
Oh, so you just go right down to the meeting at the church?
No, upstairs. The Loft went up. So
Nice.
you go in, you go upstairs, make coffee, you do all the things. And instead of going to a bar and getting drunk, you go and you make coffee and you clean ashtrays. Because
Cool.
that's back when they still had smoking meetings.
Right.
And we had remember those huge smoke eaters? Oh my God. And, you'd sit there, you'd listen to people, and sometimes you'd make fun of them, sometimes you wouldn't. Hopefully not. And there was a lot of like old timey sobriety there, so that was actually really cool. And
what year are we talking here?
1997.
Okay, it's not. 23 years ago.
23 years ago, yeah.
Okay, right on.
So, and we moved there, then we moved up to.
Yeah, I got a girlfriend and her kid and a dog.
Yeah, that was a genius move on his girlfriend's part, who was not like she didn't like me at all.
Not
even a little bit. And she's like, I'm giving him a dog for his birthday. She told me like the day before she gave it to him. Like, what? Because we were in like a one-bedroom apartment.
I was 5 people.
Yeah, I was sleeping on a couch, and we're like, we got to move. So within like 3, that and the letter that stated, you guys are squatters, you have to move.
No, they ended up paying us to move out.
That was nice.
Because the realtor wanted to sell the house. So they said, okay, we'll give you 3 months rent.
Wow, so you had a little bankroll then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were able to, do a little.
And then we moved to Portland Road, where Whitney Houston supposedly lived at the top of the hill.
In Highlands?
In Highlands, yeah.
Whitney Houston? Whitney Houston?
Yeah, I don't
Whitney
think it was
Houston.
true, but
I want to dance with somebody. Whitney
Houston, yeah.
National Anthem, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
This is before or after, like the Bodyguard.
This was 97, so it'd be after.
Okay.
This was after.
I wonder why Jersey.
Because she's got roots in Jersey. Dionne Warwick is from Jersey.
Yeah, she's from the Oranges or something.
Yeah.
Psychic Friends Network's Dionne Warwick?
Yes.
Wow.
That's what friends are for. That's what psychic friends are for.
Right. So you guys move in together.
Yeah,
And
I started dating Jules.
Okay.
And his girlfriend still hated me. They had their own bedroom. They put her poor son out on the porch.
Yep.
They gave him the porch. It's not even a bedroom, but we made it into a bedroom.
Wait, back up. Your girlfriend's son?
Yeah.
Lived with you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
During the week, and then weekends.
Yeah, and weekends he spent with his dad. So
he's turned out okay.
Okay, and your
he's a
girlfriend.
good- Michael,
So wait,
I was like Michael.
your girlfriend lived with you too?
Yes.
So
She was
so again, it was 5 people in the same place again.
Yeah, but
the thing-
it was bigger.
Yeah, 2 bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a kitchen. We had
Okay, and I guess presumably you all kind of liked each other, although she didn't like you.
she hated my guts.
Why did she hate you?
Isn't there a phone bill or something?
No, that was later on. That was after I moved out. No, she thought that I don't know. It was a
The
weird
dog
situation.
hated everyone.
The dog
And the dog.
The dog's name was Slappy, and the dog was
Slappy,
not well
okay.
trained, and it would bite anyone that walked in the door
Except me.
except for him.
Okay.
And I'm an animal person,
Sure.
and dogs love me except for this one.
Sure, you've got like
And-
8 of them.
Yeah,
so,
I know. So I'm like, why is one time I had to like body slam him to keep him from like tearing out my throat.
Okay.
And I'm like, Slappy, cut it out. He's like,
All right,
"Arr, arr."
self-defense, not animal
I'm like,
cruelty.
exactly. I was not. I didn't hurt him. I
Right.
just had to like keep him down.
Sure.
And so when I would have Jules over, date nights were problematic at that point with the dog. And didn't the dog jump through a window? Broke through a window.
He put his face through a little tiny panel on a door because the neighbor, we shared a door, and he would come in and I think stand there and taunt the dog.
So
The
you
dog just put his face right through the.
so you had Cujo for a pet.
Yeah, I didn't.
Smaller.
Well,
He
Ate
had
all
good-
my books, ate all my shoes, ate a bag of chicken wing bones and a bottle of aspirin in the same
okay.
day.
Yeah, that was a memorable day. So I ended up moving in with Jules, and we were planning on getting married. And I moved out, but we kept in touch.
Yeah.
And with cooking and comics, I mean, it's a lifelong bond.
I would get your job after you were done with it.
Yes, after
I got
was
the Fort Monmouth job. I
Yeah.
got that, and then I got the Pat's Market job.
Yeah, he was taking my leftovers.
Oh, so you were giving a good reference, obviously.
Oh, of course.
Okay. It's like, hey, I know. See, I'm leaving, but I know a guy
Yeah,
who's just as good as I am, or well, almost as good as I am,
or better.
or better, and
yeah.
he would come in.
They loved me at Pat's. They paid me well.
Yeah, they did.
Barry did.
Barry loved
So
it.
how long was this before you moved out? That you lived together?
2 years. We were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
It's a good run.
Yeah, I've never had a roommate that I got along with for more than like an
I
hour.
can't imagine.
Yeah,
I've
it's-
been on. We've traveled. Thank God we get separate rooms.
You get set in your ways, and you have your own.
But I can't.
No,
I can't
no.
imagine being in the same living
Nah.
space as you.
Am I that
for-
bad, Daniel?
Mm.
Well, he's used to it.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
grew up with
You,
it. so-
you've got no frame of reference, buddy. Sorry.
In comics, when we first became friends, that was when the Amalgam series came out.
Yes, Super Soldier, and
Yeah, that was the worst thing ever.
Well, now it goes for bucks. So,
Does it really? Like
yeah.
the Batman, Captain
Yeah.
America?
No, it was Superman, Captain America, now and Batman and Wolverine, Dark Claw. Yeah, so that one goes for like $20. So
I
if you
had
got
all those that I
then-
bought at Katz's. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go down and in the bathroom there was like a pile of comics on the toilet.
Sure, why wouldn't there be? It's great reading. You
of
can get
course.
through in one session. Yeah, you get through a book for
Yeah.
sure.
So we were not we would the one good thing about Angela was that she would clean.
Yes.
That was
That's your girlfriend.
that
Yeah.
was yeah, it was
Okay.
Angela.
Would she grumble? I should clean a freaking zapstick.
No, I didn't
leaving
cook there.
ketchup. Oh, you didn't.
I didn't cook there. It was all him, and the sink would be filled, and there would be not flies, but there'd be like raccoons going over there, going, "You got anything good in there?"
Yeah. So what was Mike like as a roommate?
Good. He was the cleaner, neater one. And I was Oscar Madison, but that's the way life goes.
Yeah.
You need an Oscar, you need a Felix.
Right. I feel like so you were still working in the service industry. I imagine you weren't even home a lot.
No, neither one of us were,
Okay.
because you were waiting tables.
Waiting tables and working at Seabright Pizza
Yeah,
and working
and
at Fratello's.
tell everyone about Happy Elvis.
Yeah, that was 95, 96.
Happy Elvis Pizza.
Happy Elvis Pizza.
The king of pizza satisfaction. That was just so that the guy who owned the pizzeria, my partner, so he would never be involved and never step anywhere near it. I said, let's call it Happy Elvis
Right.
Pizza. Because I wanted to call it Fuck You Pizza because I thought that would really keep him away.
It
But-
would, but even now in 2020, I don't think that name would fly.
No, but well, you never know. It'd be on
FU
it'd be-
Pizza might have flown.
And we did a little Cajun Italian mix, 'cause
Nice.
I'd worked at all the pizzerias and they're all kind of
They're the same,
interchangeable.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And the things I liked was I had a good dough. And when people would call up and order, when they were done, I'd say, thank you very much for ordering. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I always thought that was very funny. And it was Elvis-y, but no one ever got it. So
That's their loss.
that's their loss.
Yeah. So and it did. You guys are so roommate was good experience then.
Excellent.
With
Yeah,
Mike.
because we kept in touch,
Yeah. I mean, during though, like, did you ever have any blowouts?
No.
Never?
None to speak of, no.
Never. I was like, dude,
No.
the dishes have been here for 5 days. Like, what? What? the hell?
And then I'm like, then wash them because they're yours.
Right. Or I guess his girlfriend would take care of it though. It sounds like He'd wash the
eventually,
dishes.
yes.
Yeah.
And she would grumble.
Yeah, and she'd be very depressed and play heavy metal music in a dark room with her head hanging down.
Yeah.
And I would burst in and go, "What
But
are you
yeah,
doing?"
four people and a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm amazed that you guys got along as well as you did.
She accused me of loving the dog more than I loved her, which was true.
Which
Yeah.
is probably true.
I said the dog never gives me really any grief.
Yeah.
And
But she said the dog doesn't clean up after you. And it was like, well, then we get along well anyway. I mean, it's fine.
Sloppy bit everyone though. He liked me. And
Right.
he didn't like me to be around anyone. So
Right
he
on.
luckily got out, before.
Yeah, so 2 years, and you're like, all right, I've met the woman of my dreams. We're gonna move in
Yeah.
together.
I had actually dated a girl before that. And she was not a hit with my friends either, but another woman. And I would spend a lot of time over there just because Angela was moving in on like like putting up curtains and throw pillows and
Oh, it
stuff.
started
Yeah, like
start
taking over. And
Okay.
I had my room in the house, and it was like the small bedroom, and it was like, that's fine, just don't go in there.
Right.
And I don't think she did. So
Right. Did you have the sign on the doors like no girls allowed?
do
Like,
not enter. No, 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 no. And
this means you.
and I was the woman yeah, exactly, the little radiate skull and crossbones
Yes.
on there. No, but the woman I was dating at the time, she was also a little bit older than me, had a son. I was like, oh, this is gonna be weird.
Sure.
So that lasted, oh my God, I can't believe that lasted like 9 months. That was weird.
I got the surprise party out of it. So
You did. We had a surprise party over to her
For your
for me,
birthday?
my birthday.
house. Yeah.
What set it up? What how did you wait for him to come back from work? Like
No, that he was off that day. So
okay. How'd you like trick him into
Well,
how
we
was
were
the
gonna.
setup?
I think we were supposed to double date.
No, we were going out to dinner with Johnny Farrell.
Oh, that's right.
And he's driving around because they're getting messages that the people aren't at the house yet. And it was all my family. My girlfriend invited all my family, and they all came down. Have you ever had a surprise birthday party, by the way?
I've thrown them. I don't think
Oh,
I've
you
had
gotta-
one
you-
myself.
you
I don't
gotta-
think anyone's ever thrown one for me. It's I mean, I'm tough to pin down and like, hey, meet me here at
You got to
8
put it
o'clock.
out
Like,
there
oh,
because
yeah.
it's a life affirming experience.
How so did you get in there and like surprise,
'cause
and you're like, wow, these people
They were
love me.
driving down the street because we were going to pick him up.
Sure.
And we were going to go to dinner. And then he said, wait a minute. And he keeps driving because my mom's coming in on the side street and walking across the street, and he don't want
Oh,
to
so
see
he's
him.
like,
And I'm like,
trying to
I'm like,
avoid
where
all
the
the
hell you
people coming
going?
in. Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
we just passed the house.
So you
And
thought something was up.
I got there, and then I was very surprised.
You're like, old man, come on, what the hell's wrong with you?
And then I was completely surprised, and I had Cluck You chicken wings, so I was perfectly happy.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Thermonukes.
what else do you need?
Not
I-
much.
Yeah. Shout out to Cluck You, our friend Cluck You Billy.
I
who,
used to
sends
order
us
from
wings.
them every night when I worked at the Fromagerie when I would get home from the bar at night.
That's pretty cool. The Fromagerie, pretty when it was running. It might be back again. I can't remember, but
Someone has it.
yeah.
Is it
it's
David Burke still, or is he?
no,
done?
he
Okay.
lost that a while ago.
So that's a pretty one of the best restaurants in town. One of the most expensive. So you went from that to like $3, like a dozen chicken wings from Cluck You.
Yes, yeah, and
It's
I would
a-
always tell him I would order the number 6 special, which came with a side and a soda.
Sure.
And say, forget about the soda because that time of night I wasn't drinking soda.
Right.
No, he's drinking bourbon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good mixer.
and it was down that one there because I lived down the street here at one of Leon Smock's house,
Oh, lovely.
which is another common bond we had.
Yeah, we both lived in a flop house for Leon Smock when we were drinking. So that was, yeah, it's weird the coincidences you find.
Well, you're in the same area, so I guess
Yeah.
you kind of wind up in some of the
This
same
was a guy
places.
who had 5 houses with like 10 rooms in each.
Sure.
And he'd
Or,
rent them for $100 a week.
right to
Anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, anybody, especially crackheads.
Right.
A lot of crackheads in there. There was one guy who lived in that house, and he got busted. And you ever see the police blotters like they have in
Sure. I love reading the police
yeah,
blotters.
police blotter? This one was like 4 columns of just this one guy's transgressions.
Wow.
Yeah, he stole a car, hopped up on crack,
Okay.
broke into the place that he was working, stole booze and money,
Right.
drove the car.
Had a hell of a night, man.
Oh my God, he drove the car down. I forget one of the side streets in Rumson.
Sure.
Drove over somebody's lawn, and
Okay.
the cops are watching him do this. Drove over
What
their
are they
lawn.
waiting for?
I have no clue, but they were probably like, "Hold on, this is I."
Hey, was this Patrick?
No.
Because he had a four
There was-
column.
yeah, there was a guy who we knew that had 4 column arrest, police problem. No, this guy was he worked at the old Union House. You probably know him.
Yeah, I'm sure,
you
yeah.
ran afoul. So I mean the restaurant industry is kind of small
Sure.
and incestuous. So
Yeah. All right. Right on. So you move out. You're making your way.
yeah,
You're learning. You're becoming an adult.
yeah,
At
I
this
know.
Point.
Well, that's the whole thing is you have to learn to grow up.
Sure.
That's where we split paths.
Yeah. One thing that AA doesn't teach you, but you learn through trial and error,
Right.
is you got to learn to grow the fuck
Okay,
up.
okay.
So that's what it was, just growing up. And, you know, it was weird because, you can't save somebody else. They have to walk their own path,
Sure.
and Pizza was walking his path. So,
Well, you kept in touch. I know that you guys hang out every so often.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
I mean, I wasn't like, oh, hey, sucks. And I mean, we would go to meetings and just hang out, go to dinner.
Yeah.
That was even more
It's like,
important.
hey,
than
man, you
going
want to
out.
meet me at Cluck You at?
Yeah, at 3 a.m. I'll meet you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Get a number 7. No soda.
Right. So, and you guys were going to Comic-Cons?
We actually went to Chiller.
Chiller Theater.
Oh my God.
Okay,
So
shout out to
set us
Chiller.
up, Pizza, because this one was, this is you.
There's nothing like going to Chiller with like a lot of money. I had a lot of money.
Where do you get that money, Pizza?
I was working at the Fort Monmouth. Michael was leaving.
I was, it was a part-time gig. I was,
right, not even a mile from here, quarter mile even. There's this huge fort called Fort Monmouth, recently decommissioned, so you can drive through there, and they're developing it, and they need a podcast studio in there.
They do.
But but while it was operational, I guess you could get jobs there cooking for the military.
There was a PX and there was a grocery store.
Okay.
So it was the grocery store. A friend of ours, as a matter of fact, our sponsor's daughter was managing the deli section.
Okay.
Which is the deli and the bakery. And
so you had an in.
Well, she asked me, she's like, listen, because I was getting out of the restaurant business. I was going back to school.
Yeah.
I was going to Brookdale. I was taking classes. I was, and I've never, aside from like when I was like, oh, I'm too drunk to go into work, I never didn't work.
Right.
So I'm going to school. I've got a part-time job at Jay and Bob's.
Right.
So this is like 2000, 2001.
Okay, so you had started, you were in the Viewskew family.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was working part-time at the fort. And what happened? Oh, I left there because Walt offered me more hours.
Yeah.
And I was leaving because I couldn't juggle like 4 things at one time.
Okay.
And you know, I said, why don't you? I said to
I know a
Charlotte, shout out to Charlene.
Yep.
Said to Charlene, why don't you offer a pizza job? He'd be perfect for this. He's personable. He can do this. And so she did.
Yeah, and it paid well.
Yeah, he didn't scratch his ass and put it on the food, like not that you know of, anyway.
I've never seen it.
He doesn't let the customers see. It's like, okay, good enough.
That's fine.
And then I worked there, and then I left there because I didn't like some of the things that were going on.
There was a cast of characters.
I can imagine.
Yes. Oh my God.
And then I started working at McDonald's because I'd never worked at McDonald's, and I was living down the street from one, and I said I'd like to try this. And
He just woke up one day. It was like,
yeah, because someone said don't leave your job unless you have another one. So I said I get another job, and,
right, and they'll hire anybody.
And it's really terrible to work there. The only good thing was
it's corporate.
I would take a piece of cheese,
Okay.
a burger, and I'd hit it with a Big Mac gun, and I'd just eat it while I was working. And I never eat chicken nuggets, and
Right.
And the manager said to me,
no bun.
No
bun.
No. Just that's why you had the plastic.
Very what's that freaking that? That's very Atkins. You were Atkins.
Yes, I was
diet.
keto.
He was keto.
You were doing keto at McDonald's with that.
And I would pick at the chicken nuggets, because they have a whole bunch of chicken nuggets there. And the guy said, you can't do that while you work here. And I said, I don't care so much about the job. I said, I'm going to keep doing it. I said, you want to fire me? That's fine. And then I got paid from there, and there was no money. So I said, what can I do for money? And I was always a fan of Bonnie and Clyde when I was a kid. I loved that movie.
Sure. Who was in that movie?
That was Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
Okay,
man.
I've never seen it. I know
Michael,
it's a good
Michael
movie,
J.
though.
Pollock.
Michael J. Pollock. And in fact, I wanted to become Bonnie Gloger to become my girlfriend because I wanted a girlfriend named Bonnie.
Sure.
This is 3rd or 4th grade.
So it started early.
It started early.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I started reading in the New York Post about this woman who was robbing banks to pay for her cat's operation. And she did it, and then she said, "Wow, this is really easy." The only thing is, she was living in Brooklyn, and she was robbing stuff on her block, so they were kind of easy for them to tell them where it was.
All right, you don't know. Yeah, you don't shit where you eat.
So I said, "Well, let me try this. This seems pretty easy." It's a numbskull woman.
Wait, hold up, back up. Let me try robbing banks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
all right. Let me go back to the timeline here. So you're 7, 8 years old. You see Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes.
Like, wow, that looks like fun.
I always wanted to be 3 things: Bonnie and Clyde, Houdini, or Evil Knievel.
Don't they die at the end?
Always.
And the movie, I've never seen the movie.
Yes, they do.
They
Yeah.
get-
Oh, yeah.
they-
Oh,
like
my
their car gets bullet riddled,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, of course.
And that wasn't enough to deter you. It was like they glamorized it, I imagine. Robbing banks?
You got to understand an alcoholic's mindset.
Sure.
It's like, you know what? I like the parts that I like, and I'm going to discard the rest and just
Okay.
conveniently forget
Right.
them.
But you were recovering at this point.
No.
No, you were an alcoholic. Okay, you were
Yeah.
drinking still.
I
Okay.
don't think I was drinking, but there might have been something involved.
Oh,
And my
okay,
friend
okay.
Johnny said to me, he said the 3 words, he said, "You'll never go hungry, you remember these." And it was stick 'em up. So
he meant it as a joke.
Sure.
But he took it as he's like, you know what? Those are words to live by.
Holy crap.
I took
Okay.
a train into Manhattan and I walked around, and then I went to a bank and I got a deposit slip and I wrote something on the back of it, because probably 20 years earlier, because this was a prank that you would do, is you would go into a bank and
Okay.
you would write on the back of it, "This is a stick up. Don't say anything. Give me all your money," and put it back on the pile.
Oh, so whoever the
Someone-
next person
Yeah,
would like,
yeah.
and then they would get taken down by the security guard,
Yeah.
or they trip a silent alarm. That's not very funny.
When you're 20 years old, it's funny.
Did you stick around to wait?
Oh yeah. You'd have,
Oh,
you'd have a
God,
little
you guys are
distance away.
just
But
evil, but you know,
yeah.
we didn't have internet back then, so you
That's-
had other things for entertainment.
Yeah, it's true. I never did that, although
So-
it seems weird, but
In
yeah.
Pennsylvania, we did it. Yeah,
Right.
that was rare.
But all right, so I mean, I know Bonnie and Clyde was an inspiration, but did you just wake up one day and was like, I'm gonna do it?
I got to do this. Yeah, I got to try this, because it seems like it was going on. It was going.
Was there anything that triggered this though? Was it the McDonald's job drive you to this?
No.
Or
I just,
were you late on rent?
No. I just said, you know what? I said, this is something I could probably get away with, because who knows me? You know, there's a lot of other things.
But I don't know. I the night before I'd be like, I'm gonna do it, and then the morning, you know, after a good night's sleep, I was like, this is a dumb idea. How'd you psych yourself up?
My old boss Barry said, when I told him about it, because I told 2 people. I told him.
You told people you're gonna
2
rob
people.
banks?
No. I told him that I was robbing banks. And I told one, and the one guy said, because I owed him money, and I said, here's your $1,000 that I owe you.
Right.
And he said, and I said, where'd you get this? And I said, I've been robbing banks.
And they're like, very.
And he said, no. He kind of knew me, and he said, wow. He says, that takes a lot of balls.
So this was what year was this?
2004.
It's fairly recent then.
2004. Yeah, 16 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Did you, besides like a fictional, Warren Beatty and what, Faye Dunaway?
Yeah.
And the
Did
cat
you ha-
lady, and the cat lady from the New York Post, who had robbed the
So
same
she was
6
your
banks.
inspiration.
Well, I said, well, if she can do it, I mean, I could do that.
Like you didn't know any fellow people would be like, hey man, do this. Like, don't do this.
I knew someone who had done it before, and he explained it all to me after the first
Did
one.
he get caught?
No.
He never got caught.
No.
Okay.
And he did it, and I forget what the manner was, and it was somewhere around here. And he said, you'll never be able to stop doing it. He says, because the adrenaline is something that you will chase. And I
Right.
said, and this was as I'm riding home on
Holy
the train, and I said, no, I don't know if I could not do it again.
But
I go into a bank, and the first bank I go into, I write this little thing out.
and this
And
was
then
in Manhattan, you said?
Yeah, Midtown Manhattan. And a Friday afternoon.
Like, was this like Home Alone? Did you write out a whole plan? It's like, okay,
No,
like
no, no,
10:24, I
no,
go
I-
in, 10:25, I'll give him the note.
I
I'll give the money. Like, this is my escape route.
I go
How
in
much
and
did
fill
you
out a
plan out?
slip,
Okay.
and then I go, and there's like 4 people waiting online. So
Right.
I get behind them, and then other people come in line. And as I'm looking at it, I look behind me, and there's a cop waiting online. And I remember, because I picked up my phone, and
Yeah.
I said, oh, this, and I pretended like I'm trying to get a signal, and then I walked out, and I left that place because I hadn't done it.
Okay, you cut bait.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is too rude.
And I went to a bank around the corner, and I was waiting online, and the only
But you were hell bent on robbing a bank that day.
yeah, I mean, you're in the city, you paid for the fare already, you know.
It'd be a waste not to.
Sure.
And I go into a bank, and I wait
Do you
online.
remember which bank? Is
Oh
it?
yeah. It was that was one I pled guilty to. So yes, Commerce Bank, and because they're very very friendly and very open. That was their thing.
Commerce Bank. Okay, which is still around, I think.
No,
They're not around.
TD. They're-
Okay.
Were they absorbed by TD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like, screw this. They're idiots robbing us left and right.
Well,
we don't
then
want to do this
there
anymore.
was later. There's a story in the Times about the whole
Sure.
thing.
Well, let's stick to this one. So you go to the Commerce Bank.
And I'm waiting online, and I remember because my phone went off, and it was the SpongeBob was the ringtone.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, someone's going to remember that, or they're going to pay attention to that. But I
Okay.
said, what the hell, you know? And I go hand the lady the slip, and
Okay.
her eyes bug out, you know,
Right.
and then she gives me money.
How were you dressed? Were you
Windbreaker, baseball hat, and jeans.
okay? But no effort to disguise your face.
No, because
No.
who would know my face, you know?
I mean, a security
And you ever
camera.
seen the
perhaps.
cameras? This is
2004. So
this is 2004.
yeah, they have
with-
cameras. They're
and
not
the
as
cameras are terrible.
yeah.
Except in a couple of commerce banks.
They've gone HD.
You know, and I'm laughing because the woman's, you know, I'm just smiling because it's just kind of ludicrous. I'm doing this, and I get this
What's
pile of money.
so? I mean, you're interested. What's going through your head right now? Are
I'm getting
you-
money.
I'm gonna put my head down and walk out the door.
right? But I mean,
And then I'm gonna
it had to be a
run.
mix of what nerves
Nerves.
And
The only thing I wanted
excitement,
was
and you had to
right.
be scared too. Like they
excitement beyond belief.
okay, and there were no security guards in this place. I imagine you did.
There might have
some
been
recon.
someone standing around, but they're
Okay.
usually not armed or
And-
anything like that because they don't want that.
What did the note say exactly? Do you remember, or just
I
vaguely
changed
ballpark?
it. It was robbery, have gun, no dies, no violence. And then
You
I
didn't even write it. That's barely English.
Yeah, that is.
oh, you'd be surprised. I saw when they finally arrested me, they had a wall in the major case squad downtown of all the notes
Sure.
that had been passed through the years. And some of them are really funny, like you know, I have a vial full of this poison, and if you don't, I'm gonna
Right.
do with my
I have a gub.
But you just said gun,
have
no-
gun.
no die.
No dies, no violence.
Okay,
And I figured that's simple enough, you know.
sure.
No,
'Cause-
when he no dies, like the die packs. That's what he's
Oh,
saying.
okay, okay,
Not-
okay.
not
okay. I
no-
thought you're like, well, I'm not gonna
You,
kill anybody.
you know dies. Yeah.
Then I
no.
started putting money amounts on them later. But the funny one was when I gave it to the one lady and she says, I don't understand. I said, what's, and this was one of the pictures that they got me. I said, what's to understand? It's in big letters.
Sure,
I
but
said,
this first one they understood,
sure, yeah.
Okay,
She bugged
and-
out. And,
and so I guess she's emptying her drawer and just.
well, no,
handing
she
it over to you,
she
or-
gives me a stacks of 50s.
Okay, did you bring a bag with you?
No. And as I'm walking out the
So
door,
you-
because I know the dies go off when you
Sure,
you leave.
Sure.
And so I stick one down here, I stick one down here.
All right,
'cause
you didn't even have a bag.
no.
You didn't bring a bag.
Then I gotta have a bag. Then I gotta leave a bag somewhere. Then I gotta.
Sure, but all right.
It's not. They don't give you a big pile
Were
of money
you-
like that.
Were you drunk when you did this? Or
No,
would you,
no.
Okay,
no.
you were stone sober when you
So
did this.
cold sober? Yeah.
Okay, but no bag.
No bag. No, you can't bring anything along. That's the more identifiable things you have, and the more stuff that you have, the more you're gonna get caught.
So
on
you
something.
did do some thinking
Well, I know. I think
before
about.
this.
I think about. It's not. It wasn't my first crime that I had ever committed.
Sure, but this is a major. This is different though.
This is different. Yeah.
I mean, was this your first robbery of any sort?
Sort of. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I imagine maybe
Depends.
they're-
Robbery is a. Yeah. That's a.
sure dealers that you may have skimmed off of or
No, I stole. You know.
or your jobs, the restaurant jobs. Did
Restaurant
you-
jobs are there was one, the Feathered Frog, where I found out you could void things off of checks.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And it never came up on a report.
Okay, but small time stuff.
Yes,
Not like this. This is
not like this. Well, this is more of an attention. You know, you're gonna get.
Holy crap. Okay, so you got stack. She gives you stacks of 50s.
I got a stack like that.
One stack of 50s.
No, stacks of 50s.
Okay, how many
and-
stacks? Approximate.
You never say how much because then that can come back on you that we did this or we didn't.
Oh,
charge
even
you this.
now you can't.
I wouldn't. You know, you
Okay,
don't say
'cause that
how
was
many
my-
you did.
All right,
and you
because that
don't
was
say
my
how
next.
much you
That was
got.
my next question. Like, how much did they give you? But you can't say.
Thousands usually.
Okay, four figures.
Yeah,
Good chunk.
Yeah. Except for one time, but that was.
Okay, but this time you were happy with the
I was
store.
happy. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really do much, and I had a Wells Fargo or commerce account, and I didn't have any money in it. And I was like, well, this is great because now I
Wait, did
go
you
to
deposit it back?
No.
Okay, so you're stuffing it down your pants,
Yeah, and my pants, the front, because I figure if one of these blows up, I don't want to lose everything.
right? And you
just my junk.
and
Yeah,
you get out of there,
Yes,
and no one.
that's by the way, that's why you don't have a bag, because if they put it
Good
in
point.
the bag, you can't see it.
Good point. So now, but you stuffing 50s on your pants is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
suspect, but less suspect.
Well, I'm just walking, and I got
Okay.
my head, and then as soon as I get out the door, I'm going to run to wherever the subway thing is. You know, take a subway to Penn Station, and then take my
Right,
train
and
home.
you did it all silently, so nobody suspected anything.
No,
you
but
look
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're making a withdrawal,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
we were kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
He
So-
just didn't have the money to match the
Sure,
funds
yeah.
that he was getting.
Okay, so in and out, how much time approximately?
Oh, I like if I wait online for 3 minutes and then, but even then, most times I didn't wait online. You know, you
Sure.
just go right up to the window and.
Okay, so we're talking what, 10 minutes max?
No, not
In
even
and out?
that. Yeah, not even that.
Okay, it's
no.
quick.
Under 5 minutes.
And you ran to the subway after this?
I get out, I run
Holy crap.
across the street, and then I see a subway thing, and then I go in and I forget that they don't take money. They do all the cards.
It was
and
the cards in
tokens.
2004. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to stop and go, oh shit, and I got to go buy it.
You bought a
take-
Metro card
With
to buy
a with a $50 bill.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
we don't
Then I
take
got
50.
on the subway actually and just took it like 4 or 5 stops, got out, took a cab to Penn Station.
Okay,
forget.
so you kind of covering your tracks. in a
Yeah,
way.
just trying to circle in, and then the only thing is you're now wired.
Right. What was going through your head through this whole thing? Were you looking?
Well,
I would be looking over my shoulder. Is
You're
anyone
looking
following me?
around.
Did anybody see me?
But then you're in Penn Station, and
Sure,
and you
so
see
many people.
the soldiers with the dogs and the rifles. and
Right.
that-
This was post 9/11.
yeah.
So,
So this makes you a little paranoid.
yeah. But at what point were you like, wow, I think I did this? Like, I'm in the clear.
Pretty much as soon as I got on the train or knew where the train was,
or stuffing 50s down his
Yeah,
pants.
right.
You know?
and that was really cool because then I threw it all in the bed when I got home, because it was just there. Because you always want to do that when you have large amounts of money.
Wow. So it was. I mean, it sounds like it was pretty easy.
It was really easy. It was really easy.
And let's
Well,
put
but
this.
there's an end to the story.
Let's
That
let's
is-
sure,
put
sure,
this
sure.
out there right
Okay,
now
Right.
that we're not condoning this.
Well, no,
ring.
keep-
You're like, that seems pretty easy.
No,
so
keep
we're
listening.
gonna be
Keep listening because
I used to
it
tell
doesn't-
people in prison, they'd say that sounds really
Well,
easy, and I said that's the problem with the story.
some
yeah.
prison. Somebody was like,
Lots of things
spoiler
sound
alert.
easy.
But they'd say, and I'd say, yeah, you should try it. It is really easy. I said the only thing is I'm white and I get away with things like that because I said you won't.
And yeah, and here's the thing. It was Chiller Theater. Was it
Yep.
April or October? I forget which one. we
Yeah.
went
What
to.
what time of year was this when
This
you
was the spring.
pulled your first
Springtime.
job? Springtime.
Okay,
so
so-
like April, March.
Yeah.
Okay.
So April rolls around and we're going to Chiller,
Okay.
and he pulls out a wad of cash. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty hefty wad. I'm like, what'd you get? He's like, a Robin Banks. And
So you openly just told people.
No. The very few. There are 2 people actually. So 3 people.
and I was like,
Okay, but why?
2 of them are dead, so I'm good.
What compelled you to tell them though? Did you just want to brag about it? Or
One I was talking to him about because there were a few people that I shared things like that with.
sure, but this is how you get caught though. Is you start.
That's how you get caught if you tell people that you don't know.
Who talked loose lips, sink ships? Like I could keep go on and on. Where you
Like
don't,
the one guy I told, he wouldn't say anything because he was involved in whatever he was involved with.
All right, some sort of.
So I had a lot, but
also some sort of criminal
but
enterprise.
something like that.
you
Okay.
could have rolled over on him.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But what you said, you got the money, you threw it in your bed, and you just kind of
Yeah, and then I did drugs for a while. you know.
sure. But so you have all like 50s
Yeah.
on your bed, a whole bunch of
And
them.
then I say, and then I can do whatever I want. I don't have to go to work and I can pay my bills.
Sure, I imagine you told your girlfriend.
No, I didn't know girlfriend at the time.
No girlfriend. Okay.
No, they had Angela was gone by that time.
Okay.
She was
2
Did,
weeks.
did that have anything to do with it? You being like, screw it, I'm gonna go rob banks?
No, I just
You were-
always wanted to rob a bank.
Holy crap!
and then
Okay.
so we go to
I also have backup. You're a fan of comic books,
Yes.
lifelong. You and Mike. Did you not learn anything from reading? Truth, Justice, American
When I was
Way.
a kid,
Crime doesn't pay.
I wanted to be the Viper
Okay.
because he was the lowest level of like skill. Like he fought Captain America, and he might have even been Nomad when he was Nomad, and he
Yeah.
threw darts like poison darts. Now he
Sure.
was built and all that, but
Right.
I said I could do that.
I thought maybe Puck or Stiltman would have been a better role
No,
model
no.
for as far as most useless.
and
stuff.
yeah, that was it was just sort of it's exciting when you're in the middle of it.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what harm can come of this? And I'm making a lot of money. And 2 weeks
Okay.
later, I got,
And so you live in New Jersey. You pulled this crime in New York because it wasn't near New Jersey.
he would commute.
yeah.
and so it would be hard.
No,
to make-
because everybody was doing it in New York. That was a time when they were at a really
I guess
high
there
level.
was, huh? There's a
Yeah.
big.
There were a bunch a year, and then later on, there was an article in the Times about Commerce Bank and all the trouble they had. They were on TV talking about me. They're, you know.
Well, yeah. The next day, did you start watching the news?
I was a
And
little bit.
Did you grab a paper and
I
be like,
read
"Hey, did anybody say anything about this?"
I read the Post and the news every day then, anyways. That
right. And
still
was
a
there any
newspaper
mention
time.
of?
Not
this?
until the end.
Okay, so there's no mention of you pulling off this
No.
this heist anywhere.
Nope.
Mastermind.
Wow.
Because there's probably a dozen or 20 happening a day.
It's a lot. So okay,
And then 2 weeks later, I run out of money. I go do it again.
it took 2 weeks. Wow. All right. So I meant so you went on a spending spree.
Yeah.
Got all this money.
Well, yeah. Well, one of the times I went to Chiller, and it was. I'll tell you what. It's Chiller with an open checkbook. 'Cause
sure. And that's when you went with Mike.
We
Okay.
went and
Pulls out a wad.
yep. I'm like, holy and it was like, yeah. And when he said, robbing banks, I'm like, I don't know if he's not telling me the truth. I'm like, really? Okay. And I let the matter lie. And I'm like, you can't leave fingerprints. I said, fill your fingertips with Elmer's glue
Sure.
when you do that. So you'll be good. And,
I did that. I took that advice.
but I was,
what was going through your head? He's like, I robbed a bank.
I'm like, no. And then I'm like, it's Pizza John.
Right.
And I know him fairly well. And I'm like, after a while, after I gave him that advice, I'm like, I think he's fucking robbing banks. I'm like, oh shit. And I told my wife, who would never drop
Did
down
you buy
on
him anything?
No, he bought Mitch, my oldest son.
Mhm.
He got him a Charles Manson doll.
Okay.
For
me?
a little huggy,
Sure.
you can hug, and I'm like, that's really nice.
And, you get to a Chiller unlimited checkbook?
I didn't
What
have to decide between Adam West and Frank Gorshin. I got Adam West, Frank.
So you're buying
Gorshin.
autographs.
Yes. Catwoman, Julie Newmar.
Yes, Julie
You
Newmar.
bought the whole Batman cast. You got
Yeah,
that.
pretty
day.
much.
You were there for Batman.
And you were just like,
Soupy Sales. I got.
Oh, yeah.
you and not Soupy Sales.
Yeah,
Soupy
You
was
spend
on
money to get a Soupy Sales
Soupy
autograph.
it was so sad. He was on the third floor by himself.
Sure.
In a room
Yeah.
with.
You should have just mailed him a $5 bill. What the hell? Wasn't that was him, right?
Yeah, that was
That
him.
told kids to mail him $5 bills, and they
go
did.
to your parents.
Get the green paper out of your parents'
Yeah.
wallet.
Oh my god! So you're having a good old time for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then I go and I do it again, and then
Well, the money runs out. You're down to your last
I go.
$50 bill.
I know what. Yeah, I know what.
and you were like, "I'm going to do this again." It was so easy.
The
that
last
first
time I'm in, I go to the one bank, and the woman is completely falling apart when I give her the number.
Sure. Did you go back to New York?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
do this?
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You took the train up?
I didn't. I stayed in Midtown Manhattan Fridays, 10, 11 o'clock, and I give the woman a note, and she's falling
Okay. Same
apart.
MO. Same
Yeah,
note.
oh, it's the same
no
hat,
dies.
different hat.
Different hat. Okay. Change it up.
I
so-
wouldn't. You know what? My baseball thing. I wouldn't wear a Yankee hat
Right.
because I didn't want to bring disgrace to the Yankees. So.
They disgrace
I
themselves.
think I actually
but-
wore a Mets
but
hat
okay.
one time just because I thought that it'd be great that
Sure.
they pinned it on a Mets fan.
Okay.
I give the lady the note, and
Yeah.
and she's falling apart.
Right.
And if she dies, I go to jail for the rest of my life. It's that's what they call alphabets. That's where the end of your sentence is life, LIFE.
Okay.
So I'm like, and I'm laughing because I'm going, stop shaking. I said, I'm not going to do anything.
right. Just give me the
I
money.
just, and she gives
Are
me
you
like
laughing?
oh yeah, because
You're
I'm like,
laughing at her?
well, I didn't want her to like die. And I said, relax. I said, I'm not going to do anything, And I take the money. It's $180. I said, I can't, I didn't come into work for this. So I go and
I didn't
rob
punch
a
the
bank
clock for this.
that I had robbed like a month earlier, or a month and a half earlier. And I
The
go to
same
rob.
day? The same day?
Yeah. Because I got to go home. It was, the more hours I spend there, the less I make an hour. And I go back to the. And
Well, you're not earning anything per se. You're just stealing it. So,
I paid.
so the the second job, you score $180.
First job, I score 100. No. I keep doing okay and I keep going every 2 weeks. But then this week,
That was your schedule. You rob a bank every 2
Yeah.
weeks.
yeah. And the only problem was I should have thought because I was doing it on the
Okay,
same day at
should've-
the same
You
time.
should have. That's an understatement.
Well, yeah.
The
But you hit 2 banks in one day.
yes, and I went back to one of the ones that I had robbed a month earlier.
Right.
And I remember because that was the one where they had really good pictures. Because I'm laughing because the
Yeah,
woman.
but you didn't know at the time.
No.
Okay.
I saw fuzzy pictures that
Sure. Sure.
And that was when I gave the woman the note, and she said, "I don't understand." And I said, "What's to understand?" I said, "It's in big letters, you know." And then she goes over and she goes to this other drawer, and I'm like, "Oh, she's like going to jump down some emergency chute, and all these walls are going to come down."
Right.
That didn't happen. She gave me money, and I said, "Thank you very much." And I stopped and got a lollipop on the way out.
You thanked her?
Oh, I think. I mean, she,
Okay. All right.
polite. You know,
Right,
there's no
right.
reason not to be polite.
Sure.
I'm not a savage.
And I guess that other guy was right. Once you start, you can't stop. It sounds so easy though.
It is.
Ming,
Well,
do me a favor. I'm gonna tell you the same thing and
Okay.
if anyone is out there going, why didn't you stop him? It's like, well, I can't stop him physically,
Sure.
but I
Yeah,
think I told you.
Did
you
you-
gotta stop.
Did you? Yeah. What did
I
you?
told him
'cause-
multiple times. You
what did
kind of
you-
have to stop.
Okay.
And not even multiple times because I didn't find out till I think you were on your last or second to last run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to stop. And you told me that our mutual friend Barry was like, hey, you know what? Hey,
I mean,
if it's a winning combination, don't mess with it. I'm like, you don't want to listen to him.
I mean, was this so easy that you were like, well, I can't. Why would I stop?
why
No
would
one's-
I not? Why would I
right.
not
No,
do
this is
this?
too easy. Did you ever think it was too easy?
After a while, it just got to be like going to work, like, you know. Except sometimes you didn't get any money, and that's the
Right.
problem. But
Right.
the only thing is, if you don't get the money, you still risk the charges and all the other things.
Sure. Did you have any close calls? Maybe a cop walked in,
No,
or
I
maybe someone tried to chase you down afterwards.
nope, no heroes.
All right, because I think we're all conditions. Like, let's just let him take the money. He may be
Well,
armed.
because they don't want you to turn around and shoot the guy behind you on
Sure,
the line,
right.
and that's the only thing.
Right.
And they don't want to get shot.
Right.
So it's easy to give up a couple $1,000s, and so the last time I did it 2 in 1 day, which I think threw up red flags with the major K squad, because then I'm being bold and I'm doing 2 in 1 day. I'm robbing a place that I robbed before.
Bold isn't the word I use, but
Sunday night I'm watching.
It starts with a B.
Sunday night I'm watching The Simpsons, and
Okay.
and there's a Roseanne Scotto cut in.
okay.
And she said, police are looking for a man they call the Smiling Bandit, who
Okay.
robbed X
I
amount.
thought it was like, why is this man smiling? You'll find out after the break.
Yeah, you were like, what an idiot. And
next
they're like,
to
wait
her-
a minute.
Next to her is a picture of me at the counter, and you can tell it's me.
And
No.
I get a phone call.
I
Um,
wonder if there's footage. If we could get I would
I-
love to see that footage. It's got to be somewhere.
There's some. Well, I start throwing clothes in a bag because the next day I'm out, and
Well, all right. So by the time this happened, how many jobs approximately have you pulled?
I pled guilty to robbing three banks. They supposedly don't charge you with your first one that you rob.
right.
I don't know why that's a rule. It
But
doesn't
you had
seem-
obviously done more than 3. If they're this,
Something like
they're
that.
like,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
this is a serial bank robber, and we need to catch him.
because I did stick to the same sort of premise, and there were pictures.
Sure.
But as I said, who knows me?
Right. And you watched The Simpsons. Did you see this?
I was
You were
no, but
probably
I got a
working?
phone call and it's like, and it was the next day, and it was from a payphone. It's
Right.
like, all right, listen, I'm gonna stop by and say goodbye. I'm like, what? He's like, you weren't watching The Simpsons last night, and he hung up. He came in, said goodbye. He's like, listen, I'm gonna take a powder for a little while. I'm like, oh shit. I said, well, call. Make sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started asking people who can give us a hand and drop dime on this guy. And I knew like 18 people who would definitely do that.
Right.
Once
Like
they
when I
saw-
opened up on Monday, I opened up the New York Post.
Right.
I'm on the 3rd page.
You're okay. So at this
And I
point,
opened the Daily News. I'm on the
you've
5th page.
you've been caught. I imagine didn't take long to identify you.
The guys from the Major K Squad, they said they've never had anything happen. They said the first 15 people just nailed you, just said exactly who you were. And
Well,
he
wait,
said, everybody
so
in New Jersey knows you. He
did-
said, we've never had that happen. I said, I wasn't really counting on that.
Right. Wait. So they pull up all these news bulletins, and then what? They start getting calls.
Yeah.
From people who knew who you were.
Yeah.
Was there a reward?
There might have been something, but usually they don't give it,
Okay. And these are all people you knew had called in,
Yeah.
and I guess they didn't like you, or
No, they just said that if you want to know who that is, I know who that is. And then you get to be, you get to feel you've done your part for truth and
okay.
justice.
So they were just being good
Snitches,
citizens.
that's what they call
Snitch, well,
Because Lisa, that's why Lisa I know called. That's
I
the only one I
suppose.
know.
All right.
So you see this on the news.
That and then the next.
What's going through your head?
I said, "Oh shit!" And then the next day, when I go to buy my newspapers, I open them up and I'm like, "Oh, there's a big picture of me in the Post," and I'm like, "Oh, this."
At what point are you like, I gotta get out of here?
Oh, that when I came back and opened up the newspaper
That morning.
and I just stuffed some clothes in there, and I got on a bus, and I took a train to Newark, and then I took a bus from Newark to Oregon.
Oregon. Why Oregon?
I had a friend who lived out there, and I was going to go see him.
Okay.
And he would call, and I knew we were being tapped.
Holy crap! What's going through your head though while this is all happening? You're like, I would be super
Well, then you
paranoid.
say-
Like, oh man, I think that old lady's like looking at me funny.
I was fine when I was on the bus, you know.
Oh, I mean, the bus is full of
I
scoundrels.
tried
and,
to turn myself. Yeah, by the way, it's not a fun ride across country.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I ditched my phone in Cleveland. I remember because I just left it on bench. I said, "Good, maybe someone will get arrested for having my phone on them." And I said, "And at least throw someone off, even though I left it in a bus depot, so it's not like you're not going to figure it out." But
sure. Was so, and then at this point, what the FBI contacts your acquaintances?
There was
and-
everybody.
No one. I didn't get anybody coming to. There was no knock on the door.
Okay.
There was no, FBI florist out in front of my
Sure.
house. You called like twice.
Yeah.
And get it right out of the way. You should turn yourself in.
Yeah, you gave him good advice.
Yeah, well, not only that, but a couple of people told me just get it out of the way, and then when the wiretap, you can talk to them.
Sure.
And so it's like, didn't even ask where you were because
Right.
I saw Nebraska.
Nebraska's nice. Yeah.
But I mean, at this point,
so I'm sitting here and
you could run, but they have your name, they have your address, they know all your acquaintances, and I don't know if you had any kind of paper trail, if you had a credit card or anything like that. I imagine you're.
Well, I'm a bank robber, so it's not really like.
Yeah,
that's
you're
why
paying.
I got to look for a job.
You're paying in cash, but still, there's a trail. But you made it to Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I said, and everybody kept saying, the problem is you're crossing the state lines to get away, so you got to get back.
So you came back?
Well, yeah. I arranged for them to surrender in Oregon. I'm talking to my father. I'm talking to another
so
guy.
you get to Oregon.
I'm going to see my friend, but I said it's probably not a good idea to introduce him into this mix.
Right. So you decided to turn yourself in?
Yeah, because I knew that the charges that I would face if I were to be in Oregon as opposed to New Jersey would be different. Like
Okay.
I've committed more crimes by running.
At what point did you decide to give yourself up though? Where you're on the bus, you're like, I can't do this.
I hung around. No, I hung around, but then people kept explaining to me that I was talking to what it was that I would face if I continued this.
So you still can't shut up. You're telling people you robbed.
No, these are the same small circle of people, but they're telling me what my charges were.
Right.
And
so you ditched your phone. So you're calling them on payphones, I guess.
Yeah.
And okay.
And I arranged, and I'm at the bus station, and I spent the day in Portland just bumming around. It's nice if you're homeless, by the way. They feed people, and
it's nice if you have a home as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I fed a homeless person in Portland.
There was French toast with berries on it, and they had paperback books that you could take if you wanted something to read. I said, that's nice.
No, I was going into a convenience store and a homeless person was like, "Hey, can you buy me some food?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." So I'm like, just pick up whatever you want, I guess.
Okay.
And it's a very good, very homeless friendly. But so you were like, I can't. There was no thought to like, hey, maybe I'll go to Mexico and just get away with this. You were.
And when the police came down, it was really funny because it was just like on the TV shows.
Well, wait. So you were in Portland. You came back.
No, I'm in Portland.
And they arrest you there.
I'm talking to my father, who is talking to the major case squad people who are talking to the FBI.
Okay, and they're just like, just turn yourself into the local authorities, and we'll extradite you.
And they all pull up, and the doors swing open, and they're all behind.
Where are you at this point?
Right near the bus station in
at a payphone
Portland.
You told them where you were.
Well, I told my father, and he told them, he told them where they were, and then they called there, and they all have their guns drawn behind the cars.
Sure. Well, they don't know. You
just
might
like
be,
on TV, and I'm like, "Whoa,
you're a bank robber, so I'm armed and dangerous."
And they get my ID, and they know who I am and why I'm there, and they run my name for the warrant or whatever, and nothing comes up.
So they had not issued a warrant for your arrest.
No, there was just a glitch in the system where it wasn't shown for them.
Right.
And
so what does that mean then?
They said we can't arrest you But if you're out there on your own, somebody, when the warrant pops up, someone
Okay.
might pop you.
Sure.
So they said, come down to the station and hang out until we get the warrant.
Wow.
So I'm on a cot in the police station, and this is Portland. It's pretty big.
Sure.
And I'm on a cot in a room off to the side, and then I get to go outside and smoke cigarettes every once in a while.
I mean, at this point, do you think to maybe hire a lawyer? Or
No.
you're just waiting for one? You
FBI
can't-
comes down, and I said, listen, I said, I know that I'm going to have to go back east. I
Mhm.
said, and I don't want to repeat stories over and over again. So I said, I'm not really going to talk to you at the moment. And at that point, they can't do anything.
Sure.
They just,
Well,
and so
that's-
I get extradited, and they have to, the cops come out from New York, and they bring me on the plane with the shackles,
right.
like the Hannibal Lecter
Yep,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm shuffling along.
You're like iron, like leg irons and
Yeah, and they were
handcuffs.
very nice to me. I got I remember I had a Caesar salad on the plane, and then when
you got fed.
and then
Oh
when,
yeah.
and then when I got back, we went to the major case squad, and that's where I saw all the notes on the wall. They were busting chops with me.
We have comments. Do we? Can you pull them up? Or
I
is
mean,
anybody-
we have many comments for sure. But I just want to know what's going through your head right now.
At that
as,
point, then I think, oh, I'm really fucked. This is not going to go well because it's
sure. What
because it's a crime.
did any point you're like, oh man, did you regret? When did regret set in? It's like, man, maybe I wish I'd never even started all this.
no, because I enjoyed it when I had to pay a
Sure.
terrible price. I mean, I got locked up for 2
And
years.
what month was this?
May.
So you started in April, March.
No, I
April?
started in February.
February. So you went on a 3-month crime
Yeah,
spree
yeah.
in New York City.
Yeah, and I felt because it called me, Roseanne Scotto called me the Smiling Bandit. And I thought, well, that makes
You had
me
a-
like
you
a
had a
super
name.
villain. Yeah.
A super villain. Okay. So it was all banks. Our loyal listener, Aristotle, always busting balls, but we love him. Did you ever rob a comic book store? Did you ever think to rob a comic book store?
No, not really,
Okay.
because I like the comic book people.
Okay. But banks, I guess banks, you knew they would have
The
money.
convenience store when I was in high school, because I had to go on a class trip. I always remember that.
You robbed a convenience store. Okay.
Katz's should have gone for Katz's.
Laura Richter, our friend Laura Richter, Mike Zapsik, were you afraid of any consequences for having known about this beforehand? Is that accessory level?
I don't think it was because I could have played it off as if he were joking. He's a jokester.
Sure.
But by the same token, I'm like, I don't want to know what you're doing. And the doll that he got, they could have confiscated it, but it's like,
Sure. Do you still have it?
no, unfortunately, don't. Lost it in the
No,
flood.
lost it in
Yeah,
the flood.
Well,
Dang.
flood took
Oh,
everything
no.
from you.
Charlie
no.
Manson. By the way,
That would have been. It's
he was right about a lot of things, because you know what Helter Skelter was.
I thought it was this whole cult and everything, but
No, it was the race war that was going to happen.
oh right, okay.
And his theory was that after everybody killed each other, they would ask him to help lead the country.
Right.
After the whites were all murdered.
Right.
That was his thing.
Wow. So at least you didn't have to take a bus back when they extradited you.
No, it was nice. It was a plane. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get down, you land here, and they take you to where?
The downtown, and then they
Newark?
leave me there down in New York, down at there actually in the
Oh, they of
the
course they
Tombs, yeah.
extradited you to New York.
I stay in the
And-
Tombs, and then I go to Rikers Island, and
You were at Rikers?
6 months,
Holy crap!
fractured jaw. That was a bad
Well,
time.
all right. So they book you, and it's Rikers is not a nice. Well, you don't have to tell me this, but I'm telling the audience. Rikers is
Biggest prison in the world.
is not a nice place.
No, it's an awful. But it's where they kind of.
I would be scared shitless at that point. Booking, so fingerprints, everything,
Yeah.
mugshots.
Yeah.
What color was your jumpsuit? Do you remember?
No, we didn't have jumpsuits.
No jumpsuits.
No. That was all. You wore your clothes. Upstate when you go into a prison system or
Okay.
something like that, or
Right.
if you're a sentenced person. But
Right.
bad food, very very bad. That was the thing I really bummed me out. Was the food was.
Well, I
terrible.
learned by watching the
Dude.
night of on HBO.
Come on, man.
You claim to be a Muslim, then you get better food
Oh,
if you're a Muslim.
He told me to tell him that I was Jewish, so I would get the
Get the
Jewish-
kosher
the
food.
kosher
Yeah,
food.
kosher
Yeah.
food.
Kosher
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Wait, so when did you find out he gotten?
Oh,
captured?
I kept telling him to turn himself
Okay.
in. And then I was talking to our mutual friend Johnny. Johnny is like, well, they got him, and they're bringing him back. And there was limited communication with him during the trial and whatever. And also,
well, how long before you went to trial? It's a long time, right? Did they you get there, they process you, then I guess they sentence you? You go
No,
to,
well, you go.
what's the process?
One of the things they do is they call bullpen therapy, where you go down, you get called out of your unit when you have a court appearance, and you're jammed into a waiting pen of 3 or 4 with a whole bunch of people.
Okay.
And then you sit or stand there for hours until you get called to go on the bus to go to Manhattan for court. And it's miserable. And then you go into another holding pen there, and you get moved to another holding pen, and then eventually you spend 2 minutes in court.
Right. And at this point, I assume they appoint you a lawyer.
Yes, I had a public defender, and the first time I went for a lineup, the 2 cops that arrested me said, that guy's drunk. He said, your lawyer's drunk. And
so that was the quality of legal representation.
The problem was, I told my father, I said, don't say anything. I said, the guy was drunk. I said, but don't say anything, because I said, if it comes down to it, and I got to say that I didn't get good counsel, I said, I'd rather be on the record and say that he was drunk after the fact. My father doesn't listen, and he goes to them, and they get rid of him, and I got another lawyer. And the other lawyer tells me that I might not get any time. And
wow, for robbing,
I said, that seems really odd.
Well, isn't that his job, I guess, to be like, no, I can get you off.
But there's no way. Like, I mean, I'm literally on TV, and I've talked to them about what I did. I spoke to them.
You basically confessed?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not.
Why? The first rule, I learned this by watching HBO, is you don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't talk to anybody.
Depends upon. Oh, no.
Well, but you were like, yeah, I did it.
No, this was. I'm looking at a lot of charges.
Sure.
And this is a way to get back. And I'm not admitting to anything that they don't know, that they don't have pictures of me doing.
Right. I mean, even though they have photos of you there.
It would have meant another 6 months on Rikers Island. And that wasn't worth it.
Right. But the first sentencing, were you able to post, did they put bail? Were you able to post bail?
See, that's just it, is I could have paid bail and gotten bailed out.
Sure. Do you remember what the bail was?
It was only like $10,000.
So you only need $1,000 to get out. 10%.
Depending upon who you are and what you are and where you're going. But that was okay, because I got that. But then while I'm on there, I have this beef with a gang, and someone fractures my jaw, and I end up in a hospital.
You didn't post bail?
No. My family thought that it probably would be better to
just let you sit there
for a little bit. As my father said, to learn your lesson.
Right. So, at this point, Riker pretty overcrowded, I imagine. So, do you even get a cell, or is it like that?
No,
open
it's
area?
a dormitory style.
Okay.
Where there's 50 people in a unit, and I would always laugh, because I would look on the line when we were waiting for food, and I'd say, we don't even have enough people in here to field a white basketball team, because that was the shame of it more than anything else, was the amount of minorities as opposed to the population.
I think I think that's just how it is. That's the reality of it. It's
the reality, because they're easy to lock up.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no one advocating for them.
Exactly.
That totally. One thing about the whole experience was that totally ruined a lot of stuff for me, because I saw how people were treated. I got to see how it was to be minority, and I never experienced that in my life. Where someone would look at me and say, well, he looks different than I do. And a whole bunch of people would look at me that way.
Right. What your first night there though? Was it like Shawshank? Like, I want to go home. I want my mom. And you get beat up.
Weird.
What was your first night like?
There's weird people doing their own thing. Like, some of them don't really wait to get upstate or to go to prison before they start, turning.
Oh God! All right. Thank you. Like, I might as well jump on this bandwagon. That's that. Yeah, I didn't need to know that. Oh my God!
And a lot of sick people, and a lot of just a lot of weird people, a lot of nickel and dime people, and then a lot of major, But
but that first night, the only thing I don't want to do in life is end up in the joint.
That's what you don't want. It is.
You would not.
Awful. And I wouldn't let. I know.
I would not.
But you're what, 6? You're a pretty big guy.
It would completely and immediately take away that from you. Like you would after 3 days in being locked up,
Right.
you would be completely changed.
You get okay.
Yeah, like
You
you'd be
think-
not beaten down, but I always feel that if you've spent a year or two
I guess
incarcerated,
you just get used to it.
no, you understand that nothing that you do is yours to do.
Sure.
You don't go anywhere
Right.
unless you're told to.
Yep.
There are. I always laugh because the old saying, "Iron bars do not a prison make," and I disagree with that. It's actually pretty much what makes a prison.
I mean, isn't that the definition?
That really is. But when people say that, because they're allowed to go to the nail salon now, and someone said
I
this
know.
at work, they said it's like being. They said this has been like prison,
It's
and
like,
I remember because no
it's
one
not.
This ain't
No, it's
nothing
good.
like prison.
no one asked me a second question, but I go, nah, it's
Yeah.
not like prison. I said,
Right.
besides that, there's females. I said, there's a lot of other
Yeah.
different things.
So also that first night or first week, do people try to start befriending you? It's like, hey man, you wanna survive? Stick with me.
No, because
You don't-
that's
no
that's not
recruitment?
Rikers Island. And then if you're going to a prison upstate, because they separate it by when you haven't been sentenced, and then when you go
Sure.
upstate,
Okay.
which means that you get more than a year.
Yeah.
If you get less than a year, you stay where you're at. And no, but I didn't go also to a max. And then when you go to a max, I went to medium security.
Okay.
They were
Like that's better. I guess it's better.
Yeah.
it's better. Oh yeah, it's better
Is
because
it?
it's not Dannemora or Escape from
Shawshank. Yeah.
Right.
you know.
Right. So how long were you in there before you actually got a court date?
You go to grand jury first,
Okay.
and then I went to arraignment, then I went to grand jury, and then they sentence or they schedule various
And
things.
the wheels of justice move very slowly, correct? So
Very
was it-
slowly.
Was it months before you got that court date?
3 months. You have to get a court date within a certain period of time from when you've been arraigned.
Sure.
I forget what the days are.
Okay, so we're into like summer now, and you have a court
Summertime,
appearance.
yes. A lot of the Democratic National Convention, I think, was in New York. Tornadoes or hurricanes, or whatever. It's big hurricane season.
Right. At what point? Do you meet the gangs and all that?
It's not. You can't be out front about the gangs, but you know who is in what gang usually because they're
Sure.
they're not wearing reds to be in Bloods because they don't allow that color in Rikers Island.
Yeah, but you can tell by looking at someone like what if they're in a gang and what gang they're in.
Yes. Well, there's
Okay.
Latin Kings, there's Bloods, and there's
Sure.
Crips, and that's pretty much it. There's other stuff, but
Some
That's the
offshoot
purpose.
like factions. in
yeah,
prison.
there might be MS-13. I don't really
Right.
know.
Did anyone try to recruit you, or did they just
No,
beat up
no,
on
no.
you?
What am I? I'm just a white guy. There is
But
Aryan.
they just want they. Oh, right. Okay,
They-
right. Well, there's that too, right? Yeah. The
I didn't
Aryan-
see any of them. There would be some people that would come up to me and talk about, obviously redheaded, white guys that look like they're in the Aryan Nation, or something like that.
So you met J.K. Simons?
Yes, yeah,
All
oh
right,
yes. It wasn't anything like Oz. That's one thing.
Right.
Thank God.
Did you make friends?
Yeah, there was people that I made acquaintances with.
Okay.
A couple that I talked to after I got out. One of them died.
In prison?
Yeah, he was.
Got shanked?
No, he died of something. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
He had been in for 20-something years.
Right.
And then when I got out, I found out what he was in for. And I was like, oh, God. Now I know I didn't have a lot of friends. He killed some baby or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's,
Bad news.
And then
Okay.
there was
back
Lenny.
up on that one.
There was Lenny, who I got to know because we played Dungeons and Dragons.
In prison?
Yeah.
You can play D&D in jail?
Yeah. So, there's-
How they let you have like 20-sided dice? Like
yes,
D20s and
sometimes, yeah.
and character sheets?
But then they ended up taking all his stuff because they said it was like witchcraft or something like that. Like I promoted that.
that, but they let you like smoke heroin and like smuggle heroin, like drugs through
Yeah, that
like
was
your
an-
butthole.
letting. They just turn a blind eye to it.
But they won't let you play D&D, but you can smuggle drugs in
Boofing.
your ass.
They called it boofing. That's when you put balloons and stuff in your ass. And
Right.
I would be like,
So wait, none of these guys tried to recruit you to be like, hey man, like, can you get like, I don't know, a relative to sneak
yeah,
you drugs? No one did that.
I tried.
All
to,
right, I guess I
I
was.
tried to keep my head down, and not be involved.
Right.
And I couldn't do that.
But you said you got into an altercation though.
Yes, with
you
a-
got your jaw broken.
Yeah, fractured.
What happened? What?
Some guy came to me and he said to me something about covering up when you come out of the shower. And I said, whatever, I don't know.
It's like, hey man, this is God gave me this, man. I can't.
And I guess I
of it.
didn't do it or didn't know about it. And
Mm-hmm.
we got in a fight and he got in trouble for the fight. And then
So you were marked for death at that point. Well,
yeah,
not
and then
death, but
and
for
then I'm
beating.
waiting for a court appearance, and
Right.
I don't know, but some guy who's next to me just waylays me,
Just cold cocks you.
cold cocks me, and just
Out of
half knocks
nowhere.
me out. Yep,
And they
a
were
friend of his, a Latin friend of his.
So they were in a gang,
Yes,
and he was ordered to
I get
mess you up.
Well, that's probably what it's what you do out of instinct, because that's what kind of person you are. You know, but I got messed up bad. I mean, it was like I had to go to. They sent me.
Was it one punch, or did you just keep
just
going?
One punch,
and you went down.
Yeah, I was
He
completely.
didn't keep kicking you, and like there weren't
Don't
any
know.
gang up. All right, I'm sorry. I watched
Yeah,
too much.
yeah, yeah,
I watched too much TV.
There was
so
too much.
This is stuff I see on,
too crowded for probably too much to happen and them not to notice.
Sure.
So then they sent me back to my unit, and I've got a fractured jaw. And
Right.
I said, they end up taking me to Belleville later that night, and then they admitted me, and then they had to wire up my jaw. And,
Sure.
and then I had to go to another unit
That
where
happened
people.
to both of you.
Yeah.
I gained weight when I had my jaw wired, even in jail,
Right.
because I was eating instant mashed potatoes. And
Okay.
And I remember the funniest thing was I snorted some oatmeal, because do you remember when Homer had a broken jaw?
Yeah, of
and
course.
and he snorted a steak.
Right.
And I said, well, maybe I can snort even
No,
forgetting that
it
it's a
doesn't
cartoon.
work. No.
No, it's really bad, by the way, especially if your jaw is wired shut.
Simpsons are a cartoon, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but and I had that on, and then I went to
And this didn't result in like further beatings. They didn't terrorize
no, because
you?
I'm off in a hospital ward,
Okay.
basically.
And then by the time you got back, I guess they forgot about
well,
it,
they're
or you started covering up. Or
well, the thing was, I had been jumped in the unit, so I was supposed to be in protective custody anyways.
Right.
And I went before the judge, and the judge ordered that, and they didn't do it, and that meant that they were kind of on the hook for me getting assaulted,
Sure.
because I was supposed to be kept away from people because of this beef. So I ended up suing the city, but
for getting for.
yeah. And
All right.
Yeah.
So you get your day in court. How long was the trial? Was it?
no, there was
there,
no trial. I just pled guilty.
You pled
They
guilty,
pled guilty to
and your lawyer was like, just plead guilty.
plead guilty. Well, he was telling me what I was going to do. He
When
says,
what was what were we looking at here?
2 to 3 years.
All right, not terrible.
I said I could take that. Yeah.
With good behavior and time
I'm
served.
6 months in. I might have another year to do, and that'd be it.
Right, but prison is not easy.
Prison was easier than Rikers. Prison was much easier than Rikers.
Well, wait. So how long were you in Rikers for? How long?
6 months.
That couldn't have been easy.
No, that was
No, that's
much
he was
worse.
just telling
Yeah,
you
much
about.
worse than I'd rather have that.
Okay,
than
so you pled guilty. They sentence you to 2 to 3 years, and then they send you where?
they send me to first. They send you to downstate, which is just a processing center,
Okay,
and then I go to Marcy.
which is
It's in the mid-state hub. It's in. I think of New York State as having nothing near it.
But
Utica.
Utica. Okay, yeah, north of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Where, by the way, Marcy is mid-state is in Marcy, and Marcy is where Squeaky Fromm got paroled. to.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't
That's
cross
lovely.
paths, but
so you didn't have to go to court. There was no judge going like, "My God, have mercy on your soul."
no, because what happens
just
is
like, all right,
those same charges. If I want to take that to trial and I lose, I get 5 to 10,
Sure.
and that's the whole deal.
So the lawyers like just plead guilty. Like,
Overcharge, yeah.
it's an open and shut case. They have they have you on video. They
Not like 3 months into me being upstate, there's an article in the Times
Mhm.
about Commerce Bank and all the trouble. And then there's a quote from me. And it said, John Doherty, who was arrested for robbing 9 Commerce banks in Midtown Manhattan, blah, 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 said that he robbed them because they were the easiest. Or they were the friendliest. They were the
Right.
friendliest bank, because they were. They were
yeah,
very
yeah,
friendly.
yeah,
They had no bars. They had no
yeah.
people.
Yeah, you were
you know.
smiling.
And by the way, that's when they started having plexiglass
Sure.
people and cops.
Sure. Now we have plexiglass for a whole different reason.
Yes,
but
yes,
that's,
yes, yes, yeah.
Wow.
Which, when they do start opening banks, please don't. I hope this isn't reawakening anything in you.
Oh, I keep
Mm-hmm.
looking at it and I go, geez, I mean, they're making you wear a mask now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that anybody knew me. And that's the cop said, everybody in New Jersey knows you. And I said, I really wasn't counting on that.
Yeah. So there was a whole unit.
I'm
that
just an
was
average looking white guy,
right,
who's
but
gonna-
there's a whole, their job was to take you down, though. So this
Yeah.
whole unit dedicated to taking you down. and
yes, the
stopping
major
you.
case squad. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, this is like Law and Order,
Yeah. But at no point did you think to wear any kind of covering.
No, I knew that if
I mean,
you
didn't
would have, you just put something on the bridge of the nose, they say.
Right, but
Because
I mean,
that's the
didn't you
focal
watch
point.
Point Break? You could have gotten a ex-president's mask or
But
something.
that's just it.
or...
But then no one would have noticed the guy wearing the Nixon mask. Because I'm not charging over. Like the one thing I like is I love in the movie Heat.
Yes, he is for most of Heat, yeah, they get away with it, but these are very sophisticated criminals, De Niro and Val
They're just
Kilmer.
people with guns,
Sure, but they had it down to a science. They were
Yeah.
hacking into the computer systems.
Yeah.
They were turning off the
I'll be right
cameras. They were, Heat was a big. I watched the first part of Heat. I was like, oh man, I would love to do this. And then did you just drop your credit card?
I guess
Just
so.
dropping stuff all over the place. Yeah, but then when they all get taken down by Al Pacino and all that,
That's
like,
the
oh man,
problem
this
with
doesn't this isn't so fun anymore.
Like if you bring a gun into it, and that's the whole charge.
Right.
If you say you have a gun, that's like.
So that helped you not bringing a weapon because you
Oh,
never
yeah,
bring
yeah,
it. You
no.
never had a weapon.
Oh,
on
I've
you.
never had a gun in my life.
Okay,
But if you say you have a weapon, it's one charge.
sure,
It goes up if you take that weapon out.
right. But
if-
on your note, you specifically said no gun.
No, I said have gun.
Oh, have gun.
Yeah.
So that's a charge right there.
Sort of, yeah, because
But-
you're using. Yeah, if I didn't say anything and I just had some long
Right,
rambling.
but they couldn't prove that you had a gun, so that
Yeah,
lessened
so
your
I still
charges.
say, and because I never showed it.
Right.
Even if you go like this,
Yeah.
that's having a gun.
Okay.
And then if you use it, then you start getting into start getting into real charges.
Yeah. So our friend Dante Hicks here says, yeah, Rikers blows. I guess he knows firsthand. Yeah, but he also said, you didn't think of a fake beard, like anything.
Who knows me? That's what I kept saying. I don't
Right.
look like I mean, it's. But as it turns out, everybody knows me.
Well, I want you on camera. Yeah.
When I was smiling because I thought it was funny, like,
Many identifying features.
Yeah, as it turns out, yeah. I
Yeah.
wasn't counting on that.
Okay. So you get
Like-
shipped up to Utica, and you said that medium security prison, but it was. You said was it tough? I can't.
No.
It
It was, there's still enough violence, still enough.
Sure.
The thing is that you're monitored 24/7.
Sure.
For years.
Yeah. Did you have a cell at this point?
No, it was
Same
always
thing with the dormitories.
not the dormitories, but more the 4-bedroom.
Right. I mean, I guess you're not a violent criminal, so they.
No,
feel
and
it's
that's what
okay
you
to-
get when
okay.
you go up to maximum. Is you get separate cells.
Sure.
I wanted to go to Orleans. That was
Orleans.
that's the one in Albion. That's the women's prison. I remember because the guy, I said, "Can I go there?" And they said, "That's a women's prison." I said, "I know, because I just thought that would be."
So even that you're still joking around.
Yeah,
You're still
well,
joking
I'm
around.
keeping my.
You're still like, what the hell? Like, why not?
That's how I got my jaw fractured.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
Did,
Mr. Jokey, Mr. Joke Man.
did people visit? Did you go visit him?
I did not go visit him.
Okay.
We were-
Utica's what? Good 3 hours from here, maybe.
it is
Two-
it's 3-4 hours, and I mean we maintained a pen pal
Right.
relative.
You
Yeah,
wrote letters.
yeah.
Okay.
And I sent him a couple of care packages because he's like, send me pastels. I can get pastels. They won't let me have. I couldn't send him any like mechanical pencils or anything.
right.
yeah.
Well, you could. Yeah, those are weapons.
Yeah, of course. And
So markers, like felt tip
I
pastel markers.
I think the actual pastel. So you were doing art up there.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you sent Mitch a nice drawing.
Okay.
So yeah,
you got one too.
Giving everything to Mitch, nothing to me. No, I got
Yeah.
nothing.
you
Yeah,
weren't
what
you
the
weren't
hell?
born
I got
yet,
nothing.
Oh,
buddy.
yeah, you weren't around.
You weren't born,
yet.
buddy. Sorry. I know. It's like would have been nice.
Wow. And all right. So same thing. You didn't You didn't join a gang or anything.
No. It's you know that you're there for a certain amount of time.
Well, how much? So 2 to 3 years, they said.
Yes.
How much time did you
You
serve?
come up for parole after the first year.
1 year.
Which I did,
Okay.
and
And
I didn't get it.
why didn't they give it to you?
They kind of spin a wheel. They spin a wheel, and depending upon what
Okay, it wasn't like, hey, have you been rehabilitated? You're like, hell no.
Yeah, no, none of that. They ask you the same questions.
Sure.
You say the same
I saw
things.
Shawshank. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know
you
how it
just
works.
you say, "Oh yeah, I'm really sorry. It's terrible. What I did." And
I'm sorry for what I've done.
And then
I've
they-
hurt so many people.
the
Yeah.
thing was, they paroled me to New York City because they said that's where you got arrested. That's where you
Okay.
get out of jail. And the
Ah.
only thing is, I don't really know anybody in New York City, so it was kind of.
Wait, so how long were you in? How long did you serve?
I did two and a half.
Okay.
2 years. No, because at 2 years they let me out. And I had a year to do parole.
Okay, so the second time you went before the board, the parole
No, then they
board-
just released me because of time frame, and you completed this and you
Okay.
completed that, and then they let you
what
out.
how'd you pass the time in prison?
Drawing, yeah, mostly.
Okay,
mostly
were you playing
drawing
cards?
drawing
Or
in. I read every Stephen King book.
Right. There's a prison library, I guess.
There was not. Yeah, a
Did you
library.
did you make license plates or?
No, but people make license plates. People make soap. People make not there. There, the funniest job was there was an asbestos removal.
Yeah. Those
Now
are the
you'd-
lipers, man.
You'd make if you like. I wouldn't work in a
Oh,
kitchen.
right, because you get paid too, right?
Yeah.
What did they pay you?
7
like-
cents.
like 20, $2.50 a week, $3 a week.
Right.
That was to working in the kitchen. And I said, I'm not working in the kitchen. I said, because I'm not doing your slop work. The asbestos paid like $50 a week.
Wow.
And I said, you got to be kidding.
But at the risk of your health, yeah.
At the risk, at the
And they only got to pay out 3 weeks because then you die.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. So yeah, you were up in New York and you had to get a job. You were in a halfway house.
Yeah. What? So
No, I got paroled to New York
and
City.
is it literally like, all right, here's all
I
your?
thought you had to go to a halfway house.
No,
Okay.
I got paroled to New York because I said, why can't I go to Jersey? Because that's where my family and my sport.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. And they said, well, that'll take another 6 months. I said, well, let's parole me to New York.
Yeah,
And it was actually nice. I got to
imagine.
go. I had to go to a shelter, and that was really almost like a
But is it literally like, all right, that you sign a document and you're out? They give you your possessions back, whatever you had.
They
to,
give you a
know.
suit and $20.
they give you no. You have clothes that you wear out.
Okay.
And they
Your
give
last
you
paycheck, I guess.
something like that,
Okay.
and then they put you on a bus to wherever. They actually take you to get cash to check, and then they take you. That's why I know it was near Utica, because we left for Utica to New York, and I had to go to a shelter and check in because I didn't have a place to stay, and
All right.
and I did. I don't know. The parole officer said you have to do X amount of time, and then after the last couple months, we're not going to pay any attention. So last couple months, I just came back to Jersey.
Right. And so were you rehabilitated?
No, I like I got a job that I
All
thought.
right. Any kids out there? Well, I don't know what to tell
Well,
you.
my kid's right here.
Right.
so-
Right. Did you? Yeah.
I sold
He's learned.
timeshares when I got out. It was a job that I had, and that was
Sure, I mean, I imagine. So I mean, you're out.
that I felt worse about than robbing banks, selling the timeshare vacations.
I would be too, but I mean, you're out. You're free.
Yep.
I mean, did you miss your freedom, or were you just kind of like, I'll
Yeah,
get
no,
on 2
it's
years?
no to be able to go where you want, and
Sure.
that was the thing is it's just such a stress. First of all, you're not in with the best people, and you're not one of
No.
the best people, you
No.
know. So, but the shelter was even filthier, But I got a place pretty fast. I was suing the city, and the woman came down. I had to go to the Southern District because I had to sue him in federal court.
Why'd you sue the city?
Because I was supposed to be in protective custody when I got assaulted again.
Oh,
the
right.
second
Okay.
time.
Right.
And that was all on paper. but
Okay. Did you win that case?
I settled. I could have sued
So
him.
you got money from it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you got a little bankroll to start out.
Yeah,
with,
because I remember because
your new life.
I'm doing it in federal court, and the woman sits down from there, and she says, "Well, if you don't win this case, we're going to come after you for court costs
Sure.
and all those other things." And I said, "I really don't care."
Right.
I said, "You'll never." I said, "You never get a penny." I said, "I'll never work for the rest of my life." I
Yeah.
said, if that's what you think you're going to get.
Yeah.
And she settled for a few $1,000s, but it's,
Right. So do you get a job immediately after you're out?
yeah,
How-
I got a job
Selling
pretty fast.
timeshares?
Timeshare vacations over the phone.
Okay. Well, I mean, I imagine they would hire anybody. They don't care.
Yeah, and I was really good at it but I felt worse about that than I did about robbing banks because
Yeah. You're a good salesman.
it was.
Well, I guess maybe you the criminal background maybe helped you out in
the
this case,
shiftiness of paying them. It was like paying rent.
He would call me and he'd be like, "Oh,
he's trying to
man."
sell you the timeshare.
No.
Oh,
He would
okay.
call me and he'd be like, "This is destroying my soul."
Sure.
Like, oh my god,
I wanna
I
go
would
back to
rather
jail.
I want to go back to robbing
Right.
banks. I'm like, no, just stay on the straight and narrow. He's like, but this is so, and he's like, you have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm like,
Right.
no, I don't. And
Yeah.
he explained, it, and I'm like,
$299.
oh,
Yeah.
2 people, $209 each for 2 people. 8 days, 7 nights in Florida and the
You
Bahamas.
still have the spiel.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
my
can still
God.
remember it.
The spiel.
The hotels,
Holy
the
crap,
cruise
man.
to the Bahamas, and unlimited rental
no
car.
blackout dates
Right.
except for
I
this.
mean,
This.
what was it like
this.
being on the outside again, though? What'd you miss the most?
Probably food. Probably decent
McDonald's,
food,
like making that bunless
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Mac.
Couldn't do that in
Right.
the joint
Did,
kitchen.
Women were a key thing because there were women in the prison working, but they were never really, attractive.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a good. That's a
The girl in the library, we used to say because she was attractive.
Sure.
She she was like an 8 in prison, 8 or 9, and she was like a 3 on the street.
Well, yeah, it's prison hot. Sure.
Yeah, she's prison hot, you know. And I said, wow, that's but you weren't allowed to
Good.
ever look at anybody wrong.
That's a good point. That's a big thing to miss, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's one of the things about the virus and how this is like prison. And I go, it's not really like
Right. No one tried to like make you their bitch or
no, yeah, nobody. You've never seen anybody get hit in the head with a sock full of batteries. You know, not out here.
Okay, you didn't beat the sisters like in Shawshank.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing like that.
There were weird,
Sure,
sort of transvestite.
sure. That's
people.
that's just prison culture.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's I look at that and I go, well, that's much different than a woman.
Did being back out, like, did people treat you different? It's like, oh man, he's an ex-con man.
No, I
That's,
did. I did use the line on a woman once that I met.
I think they like people. Women like it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Park Slope. I met a woman and I met her online, and then I met her in a bar, and I said, "Have you ever had bank robber sex?"
Right.
And then she said, "What's that?" And I said, "That's sex with me." And then they got, some people like the whole pirate thing,
Right. Did you get hardened in prison? Did you like come out like tougher?
No, did I work out or anything? No, I read, and
you didn't. You weren't in the whatever the yard. You didn't lift weights.
I know. I would walk the track in the yard.
Okay.
With me and Les, who had Loki'd the baby.
Oh right. Okay.
Ooh, yeah. We're not going to talk about
and Lenny, who was he was a home invader. The one I played the
low level crime. Yeah.
No, he seemed to. And then you look up these people because their records are all online. You go, oh, there was more.
Did you do that afterwards?
Yeah. Only one person turned out to be just who they. Because I would tell people, listen, this is what because they want to know what your charges are. People will want to see your paperwork, just because you don't know what people are.
Right.
And I would tell people, this is what I did.
Was there any thought to repeating the bank robbery?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. It's an adrenaline. It's pretty easy work. The only thing is, I know the consequences now, so I don't really have.
It didn't seem like they were that bad, though.
No, they weren't. That's just it. They weren't. But But if I have
a good thing,
if I have to stand before a judge again, I bet if I got the wrong judge, it might be a bad thing.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it now. There are cameras everywhere. Like, I don't even know how you commit crimes
cameras and
anymore.
phones. Yeah, I don't
People
know.
have cameras. I mean, it's like,
but they're even. I mean, in this room alone, in this studio alone, there are multiple cameras.
Yeah.
And we don't even have a bank or anything.
And they have their good cameras now. Though the ones at the Commerce Bank.
Oh, yeah, they're freaking on 4K, streamed over the internet. Like, yeah, they're watching everything.
I opened up that New York Post and I go, oh, man, I know who that
Did you keep that paper? You have a copy?
Well, I didn't. No, I don't have a copy. I almost bought one online because they sell.
Oh, yeah, you can get. Yeah, they're all. It's all.
Because there was,
now.
Stuff in the Post.
No,
I would love to see that.
Here's
photo.
a question. I have to ask you this, and I've never broached this subject before, but you said there was a whole shitload of people who dropped dime on you.
Yeah.
I was not one of them.
Okay.
I don't even read the New York Post, but I think one of them was Angela.
Maybe. I know one was
your
really
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, Wacky Welly.
Ex-girl. Okay.
Yeah, because he's the one that I told to do it so he could get the money.
The reward money.
Yeah. But I don't know whether he ever did, and he probably wouldn't admit that he did because he would want to think that he didn't.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Glad John probably did.
Absolutely.
Oh, he does.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a few people that I could see,
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I had to go down the line,
Junkie Carl?
Yes. No. Do you think I don't think he would have done that because he was involved in some nefarious
wallpapering.
schemes.
Yes, he was a wallpaper.
Yes. So and some nefarious other schemes.
But I mean, I think we know people like if presented
with that opportunity,
would be like, hey, we'll give you 10 grand if you could tell us who this, or not even that. Like if you know this person, there's a reward.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
tell us. Yeah, we would do it. There are a couple people, acquaintances, maybe
what?
not. Like if it was like get them, maybe
no,
maybe not.
But
and then I'm sure not everybody you knew were friends of yours. You probably made
Oh
a
yeah,
couple
no, there
enemies
should
out
be
there.
enough people.
So like if it was Rob Bruce, bam, right away. Of course, we would be like, oh yeah, man.
No, that's not true. No,
you wouldn't
no
for a cash
let's
reward
put it this way.
if you found out he robbed a bank.
But I'd have to have definitive proof.
Sure.
And, I would never subject anyone to that kind of thing, and I would try to talk
get caught. There's no way no one's going to know who that is.
True.
All you have to be is the first one, so you can get the reward money.
But no, that to me
and
is
you got no love for that guy either. So,
but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it for it's not about love. It's about or even hate. It's about
Sure.
The one thing that I did learn from our mutual friend Johnny was, you know what, snitches get stitches. Don't drop dime on anybody if you can
Sure.
possibly help it. If you have to do it, in a court of law.
But I mean, are
if
you
you're
mad
subpoenaed,
at anybody who was like, "Hey, that was him"? Yeah, I mean, why?
I mean, we all told you, we were all like, you got to give yourself up,
Yeah,
buddy.
you couldn't do it though.
I tried to
I
do
don't
it
think
in-
no matter. I don't think even God could have come down and been
I
like, "You got
tried
to
to
stop
do
it."
it in
You would've.
Utah when I was going through Utah. Beautiful place.
You
by
tried
the
to
way.
rob a bank in Utah?
No, that's when the bus was going to Oregon.
Sure.
And it stopped in Utah, and I said, well, maybe I should just try.
Oh, turn yourself in.
And I went to a cop in a Carl's Jr. I remember that. And I said,
And
hey,
you're like, this is a great Carl's Jr.
I said, I'm not sure if someone's pulling a joke on me. I said, but somebody's might be looking for me back east. I said, no, blah, blah, blah.
What?
And they ran because they said, what are they looking for you for? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, but that's what I'm hearing.
They ran your.
I ran my name, my
Nothing
license,
came out because
nothing
they didn't
came
have
out.
a warrant yet.
There was something wrong with
Like a
The
glitch.
database. Yeah.
yeah. I like that when they said that, you could go, but when we want to see you, we might be not as friendly.
Wow. At that point, I've been like, maybe I got away with it. Maybe, but
Maybe I'll settle right here in
I should have
Utah.
gone to Seattle because they're supposedly really good to
Sure.
homeless people.
Right.
They have
Yeah.
showers for homeless people.
Oh yeah. Oh, Seattle's they love.
Another day.
what when you got out, what was the first thing you did when you got out of prison?
Cheeseburger.
It would have to be something to eat.
So food. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a chef. I mean, yeah, and I would miss the food too, for sure.
Yeah, the food was pretty bad. There were some things that were appealing. Like the best thing was hot dog day because nobody wanted to eat the hot dogs
Mhm.
because they were really low quality.
Right.
But I'd be like, hey, it's a hot dog,
Right.
So I'd get to eat like
Hot dogs
10
are already low
10,
quality.
12.
You look like Joey Chestnut and shit. You're
Yeah,
like
exactly, because you don't have all
stuffing.
the
Nathan's hot
time
dog
to
contest.
sit back and relax and eat your food,
No, it's scarf it and then get the hell out in the prison yard.
And I was fine with that because I eat like a animal anyway, so like I'd be done.
Right. And I guess there's a commissary there. You can buy stuff. Is
Yeah.
it true? Like that's how the currency was, like packs of tuna.
Stamps.
Stamps. Postage
Stamps are
stamps?
literally, but because it's the only thing that's kind of countable, that's always the same. That's
Yeah.
I would because they would gamble with those. That was the big thing.
Did you play cards? I hear don't get it. Don't
Sometimes spades.
Don't get into the card game
But
because that's when you start getting
spades, and the worst was Scrabble.
Scrabble
Yeah.
with the little.
Yeah, with the little letters because there's
You guys played Scrabble?
sure, yeah.
For money, I'm sure. Wow.
And the only thing is there weren't a lot of really
Love
smart.
what you put up there, by the way. Former bank robber.
Well, isn't
Congratulations,
that true?
buddy.
It's not true,
They're-
right?
What
Former?
bank
Yeah.
robber,
Former,
right?
yeah.
yeah, former, yeah.
for the moment?
Yeah, let's say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Scrabble was tough because it's not a lot of readers. So
Quijibo.
yeah, alt is not a word. Olk,
Right,
OLQ, that is not a word. I'm sorry.
right. Wow,
It's like-
Scrabble.
He pulls a shank on. He's like, it is now.
It
And
is
it's like,
not.
yeah, you got me on that one, buddy.
The thing that with Scrabble, like if I lose by a point, I flip the board, man. Flipping
Don't do-
that board, and
don't-
all the tiles go everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guess what?
That's what everybody does in prison when they lose at anything. Whether it's checkers
Good
or
point.
chess or
Good point.
I was who was
A lot
the
of
one-
chess players in prison.
I think so. Yeah, it's easy.
That's a one where you want to pretend that you're smart. Probably not
Okay.
very good, but the one I was locked up with on Rikers Island was Trevor Von Eden's brother or cousin.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Trevor
Who is-
Von Eden was a
Black
is-
Lightning.
Yeah, comic book artist.
Oh,
He-
okay, right on. Okay,
he and
yeah.
Tony Isabella created Black Lightning.
When I was a
And he
kid,
wound
I
up in
was
prison. Oh, his brother wound up in prison.
Brother.
yeah,
Okay.
When he was young,
Or a cousin.
cousin,
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
When he was young, he was the youngest person to ever get their own comic,
Sure.
and I was really pissed because he wasn't that good.
Yeah.
To me,
Uh-huh.
it's
But
I liked it. I thought his art was good.
But it worked out for
I'm
him.
picky for
But not his
Right.
cousin.
not his cousin. No,
Right. Did you talk comics? It's like, hey man, I love your.
no, but somebody had an X-Men, the black and white ones.
Oh yeah, were you able?
Okay.
Did you send him comics? Were you able to read comics in prison?
What did I? I don't even remember what I sent you. I know I sent you stamps.
Yeah.
The pastels, the stamps, and there was like some foods I could send you.
Yeah, like some stuff they would get sent back. Like
They actually threw out
Charlene
some.
sent me salami once, and because it said red wine,
Oh,
ingredients, they wouldn't
yeah.
let me
Yeah,
have
yeah,
it.
yeah.
This will make him go crazy.
Right. He's gonna get drunk on red wine.
Yeah.
The red
Salami.
wine salami.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much of that, the homemade wine thing.
Oh, and I think it was paper. Paper I could send
Okay.
you. Like spiral bound notebook. No, not allowed
Not
to have spiral.
No, spiral would be.
No, that was wrong. It was the tear out notebooks. So yeah, that I think I sent you as because I'm a wise ass. I sent you coloring books.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's possible.
Oh, with the pastels, yeah, it's nice.
So technically I did, and I think I did send you comics.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Here, these are shitty comics.
So you got out
Enjoy.
in what 2007?
Sugar and Spice really
Yeah.
weren't in
No,
my
I
wheelhouse,
gotcha.
but 2006.
2006, you were released. So have you kept your nose clean for the most part since then?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know, speeding tickets maybe.
No, I don't speed.
You don't speed. Okay.
No, he's a creeping Jesus. He is. He keeps like 5 miles under the speed
Okay,
limit.
so you're actively trying not to get caught by anything.
Okay. No. If you know Pizza John, no, not actively.
Right. So what are you up to now?
Nothing. Just humping pork roll sandwiches at some deli in Middlesex.
Nice. I like.
I work like
pork roll.
60,
pork roll.
60 hours a week.
That's
and
a lot,
I'm
yeah.
Old and broken down. So.
Yeah. I mean, for so we have a lot of kids who listen to this show.
Yeah.
A lot of young, is there any advice you would give them? Did you ever have like those like the groups of kids come in? Do you have to like scare anybody straight?
No.
Yeah, you see that? Do you ever tell kids that you want to wind up like this? You think this is good, cool? Well, this is you got your kids here. Do you want to say anything to him?
Do
like,
whatever you
you want to wind up like this?
Because you know what, I can tell you anything, and you're never going to listen. Because everybody does whatever they want. That's
pretty much
you
it.
can tell them, a cautionary tale, but
Right.
unless
I mean,
you're-
holy Christ! I was telling him not to get. I'm like, stop. So before you get caught, stop right now.
Yeah.
You're on a winning streak.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you stop right now. We're done. We're
Right,
good.
right.
You walk away
I mean,
and you're
you-
like, I beat the bank. But it's like pressure luck. That old lady always goes for that one last one.
spin.
No whammy, no whammy,
Has
no
to-
whammy.
has to
Oh
spin.
shit, whammy.
Yeah.
And that's what always happens. And that's actually it's one of the lessons you'll learn like when you first go into AA is don't fuck up your
Sure.
your life. Don't fuck up
Right,
somebody
right, right.
else's. So and
Sounds like you had a pretty kind of a fun 3 months.
You've
while
had
you
it
were
was. It was
doing
wild. It was wild.
Okay.
you've had one of the more interesting lives that it's very true.
I don't know. We haven't had any like convicts, have we?
I have no idea.
I don't.
That's not one of our questions
But
we
this is
asked.
such a great story. You ever
And
thought about
he's-
maybe writing
I'm
a
sorry,
book or
He's an ex-convict, and I think that he could do a great book on
yeah,
this.
or even we could even a comic book or
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Something with. I'm trying to work on this cartoon,
Kids
which
book?
is a half cooking show, half autobiography. Just telling tales.
that would be I think that'd be awesome.
I'm trying to figure out the animation program and stuff like that, and just getting more into
right.
illustrating and things like that. Because it is, I can. My father gave us the gift of gab.
Sure.
I can tell a story real well. That's why
we got mics here, my friend.
I
think everybody listening right now is riveted.
I hate
is
when
pretty
people
cool.
can't tell a story.
We got our friend Cam. This is so awesome. Such a different story from the normal.
yeah.
'Cause, we usually don't talk about
Oh
committing
no, of course
crimes
not.
on here. Stuart Greenberg, fellow Shared Universe podcaster. Mike, you're a stand-up guy. I'm not really sure what for, but
Thank you, Stuart.
but you're a stand-up guy.
Stu, you the man. I think it's probably Stu's like if I got a body, Mike's my first call.
Yeah, Dante Hicks. Were there dye packs like you see in the movies? You said specifically in the note, no
No
dye
dye
That's why
packs.
you don't put it in a package or anything. It's
Right,
just-
but I'm surprised they listened to that though. They're like, oh, he says no dye packs.
well,
gonna
I'm
do
also
it.
not giving them a bag to fill up.
Right. Luke H. Brown, cartoon cooking show. I'm super impressed. Or
Yeah.
comic book cooking show. That would be very fun, Tony. Stay tuned next week to meet Mike's other friend, the former car thief. You know any car thieves?
Do I?
That's the
Patrick? I
That's
don't
the
know.
number one recidivism rate is for
Car thieves?
Car thieves, yeah.
I don't know.
It's easy.
I don't know if it's the Kevin Smith, but like I know these guys. So were you
Uh,
acquainted with Kevin at all? You lived in Highlands. Did you know of Kevin Smith?
I knew of them. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we
No, you came down here what, like 1996?
92.
92?
Oh,
Yeah.
great question, Mike Lappin. Why are you called Pizza John?
Oh, because I'm gonna field this one. Because in AA, everyone named John. There's so many freaking Johns that everybody gets their own Unless you're
So you get
Johnny,
some kind of nickname.
you get a
Yeah.
nickname.
So there's that.
There was a guy named Glad John who was the most morose motherfucker you'd ever want to meet.
Okay, or here comes asshole John, or here
Um,
comes like
We had
Clubfoot
Dirty
John.
John,
Dirty
who
John.
literally was the dirtiest, smelliest person you'd ever want to.
Sure.
Teacher John.
Teacher John, he was
Okay.
he was literally a teacher. Yeah, I mean we're not big on.
Did you ever get a nickname? I imagine there's a lot of Mikes out there. Chef
No,
Mike.
I'm
Chief
sure- I was
Mike,
just-
Zap.
There was a lot of Carls. There was Junkie
Carl.
Carl.
It was weird. Yeah,
There
it
was
was
Bucktooth Carl.
heating and cooling Carl,
Yes.
smelly
And
Carl,
So you got
Yellow
pi-
Carl.
you
yellow
got
Carl. There was
pizza
oh my
because
God,
you made pizzas.
Yeah, because I had the pizzeria was across the street from
Nice.
from the loft. Yeah,
Happy Elvis.
Happy Elvis Pizza.
Thank very
You ever
much.
think about reviving that? I would totally go to a place
wanna
called Happy Elvis.
do something, but I can't do pizza as much anymore because of my shoulder. I messed it up working a few years ago. I want to do something with a simple menu and not open all the time.
The Happy Elvis food truck.
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be greght. I'm thinking, hey, you know what? You come see us.
Yeah, Caleb and I
Come
think we got a new fan here. Where can I watch you guys' previous episodes? We are on Facebook, and then all of these go into audio format as a podcast. Look up the Ming and Mike Show on iTunes, on
Yeah.
Spotify, on the Google Play Store, or just do a search.
Yeah,
Google
Ming and Mike.
Ming and Mike Show. These will all go up on there. And then all these previous shows are up on our YouTube, a Shared Universe YouTube, the Ming Chen YouTube. These are
Nice.
everywhere. These are.
Should I give you
everywhere.
access to the Mike's Apsic YouTube so we can have like
If you
even
want,
more?
yeah,
why
absolutely.
not? All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Stuart said you're a good guy because you wouldn't turn Rob Bruce in.
Ah, okay,
I guess
cool.
That makes you awesome.
Oh, thank
so.
you. I you know what? It's just
You're a good guy, my
snitches get stitches. That's the one thing. That's another thing you learn in AA. Snitches get stitches. Be a stand-up dude. Because I'll tell the story later on. Navasink Country Club. I actually ratted out a dude, and my sponsor was like, "You're a rat." I'm like, "Oh, come on,
Oh yeah,
Johnny."
he got upset.
He
over
got
that.
pissed off at me
Seems
because
to be a general rule. Just don't.
you don't do it. But this guy dropped food on the floor, and we
Right.
hated him.
Okay,
And he served it.
sure.
Dropped food on the floor, served it,
that's-
and we hated him. We wanted him out of there.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah,
wow.
then-
Like
And
you
he was-
don't do foul things. That's the one unwritten thing.
Okay.
People will always talk about, oh, you're spitting his food. And I always say, listen, I don't really like to play around and
Right.
talk about that because you got to have some trust that people aren't doing it.
Yeah.
That's unprofessional.
No, it's
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, listen, I may rob banks, but I've got to set up that.
I'll eat food off the floor, but I can't sell food off the floor
Oh,
to
sure,
somebody else.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the code that you don't break.
That's exactly
yes.
what it is,
Sure,
and
I understand.
you don't do.
Salmon wasn't it? That was another
No,
job
it was
that I
chicken.
worked behind him.
Yeah, it was chicken. He dropped an entire tray full of chicken that was supposed to go out to a wedding. It was a wedding
Oh,
reception,
God.
and the guys they were paying through the nose
Sure.
for this.
Sure.
And
Dude, just put another
exactly.
piece of chicken.
I'm
they're
like,
paying for it.
well, it's a full tray, so that's like 60 pieces of chicken.
The whole tray went on the
Yeah.
floor, and they just scooped it up.
Yeah.
And
And I'm like, what are you doing? And it's dangerous because it was a country club.
Right, right.
And
There's a lot
if you're
of
in a country
traffic
club,
and-
a lot of traffic, and there are people out there walking around. We would have like all the golf guys come in
Sure.
with their cleats,
Yep, yeah.
and there's pesticides on there, and there's dirt, and
Yeah,
there's
fecal
manure.
matter,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
all
yeah.
sorts of stuff. So we're like, you are not serving them. He's like, yes, I am. And he's like, actually, I think he told me to go fuck myself. And I'm like, oh, that was a good
Nope,
move
nope.
right
That's
there.
it. You're
Yeah.
toast then.
And then we went and we're like, it was the day before Mother's Day, and we walked out. We're like, go fuck yourself. So, and yeah, then my sponsor's like, you ratted him out? I'm like, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was
He's
an
a piece
asshole.
of
Yeah,
shit.
he's a piece
Yeah.
of shit, so.
He's not of the brotherhood. Get
Yeah,
out of
Mr.
here.
Blonde has asked that Mike and Ming robbed a bank. Who'd be the one in the bank? Who'd be the getaway driver? It's a good question.
I think you'd probably want to be the getaway driver because you're like, here, you go do this.
Well, like
Um,
if I look through the window and I see them taking you down, I'm out of there.
The
I'm
juice
out
is
of-
on its
I'm out
way
of
out.
there, yeah,
I
I'm
just
out
got
of
a
there.
little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm not
I was
being
like,
taken
where-
down. They're actually giving me
they'll
more
give you
money.
More money.
So I'm like,
Imagine,
oh shit! Now I got to jump on a subway, go uptown, and then take a cab back. That son of a bitch.
I just couldn't. I'd be in line with the no, and like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, you'd
Screw
be-
it. It's a different. I guess
But
different
then
mindset.
once you do it, you just realize, wow, that's so simple.
yeah.
The only problem is when you're getting sucker punched and your jaw fractured.
right.
That
was after,
Then
though.
people want to kill you. That's a problem.
And you were saying at this time, 2004ish, that there were 12 multiple bank robberies being committed on the
Oh
same
yeah,
day.
yeah. And the only thing is they don't
Wow.
they don't charge all of them. They don't go after
Sure.
all of them. You know, the FBI and even the major case squad, they don't have time to get everything.
I think I've noticed this. Yeah, even now, if you can get away with it, they're just a lot of people don't get caught.
I got to tell you that I think the number of crimes that get solved out of all the crimes
Sure.
that are reported,
Yeah.
not even the ones that go unreported,
Right.
but the ones that are reported, only about 20% ever
Yeah.
get solved.
and 90% of those get solved through snitches.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who
That
get
is-
stitches.
right. This
That
is
is
why
one
you
of the
don't.
things. That's police work. Really, a lot of it is you have to have someone who saw it, which makes sense.
Yeah,
you know?
but even though you talked, it was the picture going kind of like New York City,
Oh,
New York
yeah.
Post,
Oh, my
all
God.
that. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no. There's no
Post
escaping
Times
that.
and the
Holy
Daily
crap,
News.
man!
That, and I mean, a flurry of phone calls between when you came, you said goodbye. You've got your backpack on your back, and you're like, "Listen, I'm out of here. I'll see you later. Check out the New York Post." And I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh," and
So
that
is
you
it
get
like
that
you're
sinking in your stomach.
Even at the end, you're still joking around about it. Though
Yeah,
you're
well.
like, check out the Post.
Yeah, I'm like, and I'm like, I said, call, collect. I said that they'll probably have a tap on my phone,
Sure.
and the flurry of phone calls between our sponsor Johnny, who called me. He's like, "Hey, did you check out the Post?" I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, mother!" And he's like, you know, and I should have asked him like who did rat you out,
Yeah.
so I have your enemies list for when you
Right.
go out.
Right, but
But
it's only a matter of time though before like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
identified and then caught. So,
but
but you turned yourself in, which has probably helped you out in the
That
end.
helps you out because
And-
especially when you're being told.
Right.
and Charlene was she was a paralegal, so
Yeah,
she
yeah.
she was Charlene, our boss over at the fort,
Yes.
when we were still, slicing deli meat.
Right.
She was actually a paralegal, so she was looking out for his best
Yeah,
interest.
yeah.
My brother, the lawyer, is like, "You're about to, your world's about to be
Yeah, yeah.
upended." I'm
Yeah.
like, "All right."
So all the associates they talk to, or
Nobody talked to me. Nobody ever came up and said, "So you're." The only time I ever got questioned by the FBI
Mhm.
is when I was driving by, and or when they said that. This is another story. Somebody claimed that I was driving by Fort Monmouth
Okay.
and I was taking pictures of the guard shack.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, "No." I'm like, that didn't happen. I was flipping somebody the bird, maybe, but
Yeah.
and somebody got pissed off enough at me to
Right.
call the
One of
FBI.
those protesters that are out there.
No. It was because somebody was driving like an asshole around Fort Monmouth, like going too slow
Right.
or like cutting me off. So, and yeah, that was fun. So that's the only time I've ever had the FBI come up to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And I'm like, "Do you want to know about Pizza John?"
I've had
'Cause,
them ask me. They asked me, and they questioned me when I was in the city when I was staying at the shelter.
like,
And
who
I
were you
ended
getting
up-
in touch with? Or
No, they
oh,
asked me if I had done something, and I said, "No, that wasn't me." You know,
Yeah, did
Like,
you
you
see
know,
a picture of me on page 3? Listen, if it's not on page 2 this time of the
Yeah.
Post,
I
go
don't wanna
fuck
get
I
yourself.
had
into
to
it.
I had to get court papers when I was suing. I had to get them notarized, and there was nowhere to take them. And I
Oh,
went to the
God.
UPS people, and they said, "No." They said, "But go to the Commerce Bank across the street and get them." And I asked the guy. I said, "Listen," I said, "Someone told me that you do notarized." Blah blah blah. He said, "Yeah, sure." He notarized. I said, "How much do I owe you?" I said, He said, "No, don't worry about it. It's nothing." And I remember because I said, "You people in Commerce," I said, "You are just the friendliest." I said, "I have never come in here and asked you for something. You're not just giving me everything
Right.
that you have." you
Yeah,
know?
and I know firsthand.
And then I ended up opening a bank account when I'm living in Bridgewater,
You conveniently forgot that.
and they took my money.
Mhm.
I put the deposit.
Sure.
I said, "Well, let me open up a bank account." And I went through all the stuff, and I put the money in the bank, and then I went to use the card like a couple of days later that they sent me, and it wasn't working. And I called up, and it was funny when I called up, it immediately obviously went to somewhere else when I put in my number, because the guy gets on and he's like the head of security for Commerce Bank, and he said, "Well, we took your money and we're not giving it back to you." And it was only a couple $100.
Mhm.
Oh, did you have to make restitution?
No, you couldn't. But I ended
Really?
up making it anyways. I got a settlement a few years ago for an arm injury, and I basically made it on the sly. So,
Okay.
and it was a substantial amount of money.
Yeah,
But because I'd rather not have that hanging on
Sure,
my head.
sure.
But when I opened up the bank account again, he says, "You know why we took the money? You robbed us, blah blah blah." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But that's not how you do things."
So they put it in the computer that this guy robbed us, and
I'm sure he's got a little asterisk next to
So
next
wait,
to his name.
is that legal that you make a deposit in the bank and they just take it?
No, because they had to give it back. Well, yeah, but it's not legal what I did either.
No, I understand.
You
that.
kind of paid
Because everybody got really pissed in my family. They said, "They can't do that to you." And I said,
Right.
I said, really, it's not that unfair. And then it was funny because I didn't say anything, and 2 weeks later, I got a check in the mail for the full amount,
Oh.
and then just gave it back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they're like, we could do this to you. So bank elsewhere.
Right. Wait, so you opened up an account at Commerce Bank years after?
I had one in fact, that was what the guy told me when they took me down and I met the guy from Commerce Security, and actually was on TV that night. They were interviewing him about me and all this, and he says, "We closed your account in I think it was in Red Bank." He says, "We closed your account in Red Bank." I said, "Yeah, there was only like $3."
Right.
I said, "But we're good."
You've always had more balls than sense. So
Yeah. But there was stuff when they had the lineup, when they bought some, and it's funny because they had like 3 Spanish guys that they just obviously
Right.
got.
So they had a lineup, and I guess
No,
tellers,
sitting down, like that was
the tellers would come
that
in,
was
and
the sad thing is,
I guess they had to identify you.
it wasn't like on TV where you were against
Like the usual
wall.
suspects?
Yeah.
Like, all right, turn to the left, to
And
the
it's
left.
3 short Spanish guys that look nothing like
Right.
me, and the guy said,
Say the line. Give me the
Give-
keys, you
give-
motherfucker.
give me the keys, motherfucker.
In English.
Motherfucker.
they
In English.
when the one cop said the woman fainted when she was, I said, well,
The teller?
yeah,
She fainted in the lineup?
yeah.
No, she fainted.
She fainted looking at me when she saw me.
Wow.
And that was the woman.
Oh, was it the one that was all like nervous?
Yeah, all nervous. I said, "Oh, thanks for making me feel like Frankenstein."
Oh, that is kind of good. That's a little dick.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is quite a story, my friend. Thank you for being so open. For
Yeah,
sure. I mean,
yes.
When Mike told me that you had a friend,
Oh,
who went
hell
to
yeah.
Rupping, I had a million questions, and I think you
Sure.
answered all of them.
Oh,
So,
good. And listen, see, it might be a tough sell for you because
What, robbing banks?
yeah.
I really don't want to end up in the joint. So, I mean, I think the
But
most.
that's what you have to get rid of. You
But
have to get rid of that possible thought in your head.
In a way, I understand the kind of the adrenaline rush. Like the worst thing I've done is like I was selling bootleg DVDs on eBay for a while.
Ooh.
This was about the time you got out of jail.
Okay,
I
yeah.
figured out. And I think the biggest one, the biggest moneymaker was the '66 Batman. It was not
okay.
out officially.
Oh,
and-
all right, yeah.
So somehow we got. I bet we could still sell these. They were the ABC.
They were the masters.
They were the master tapes from ABC of the Batman of all 100.
That's an insert commercial here.
Yeah, and at the beginning it had the old ABC like logo. It's a cool
I might
collection.
have seen that at some point.
Actually,
like
yeah.
downloaded it or something because
I think
And we got it. I got it.
No.
Like
You bought them. You did. Holy
you bought
shit.
them at
You bought them at Chiller.
yeah.
You did.
I bought
Oh
the
my god.
Fantastic Four as well.
Yes.
Yeah. There was the
You were
AB.
like, I love this. I've got cash.
Somebody
There you go.
digitized, the ABC master tapes from the Batman 66 series. I got a copy of them probably at Comic-Con, duplicated them, made some pretty cool artwork, I thought.
Oh yeah.
And my first customer, Mike was like, "Hey man, can you make me one of those?" And Walt wanted one. And I was like, "Hey, do you think we could sell these?"
And I
And
think I thought we could.
And we looked on eBay, and there were a couple people also selling them, but like their artwork was crappy. They were bad quality DVDs. I'm like, I could do better than this.
And this is when eBay wasn't like quite policing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we sold I sold the whole set for $75-$80 a pop.
It was a very Merry
They
Christmas
would
that year.
yeah,
for
they
me.
would, I had to, it was all enterprise. So I had to buy the case, the multi-disc cases.
Okay.
I had to buy ink to the high quality printer paper, and then the thing to put on the discs itself.
Oh, you
So
were really
just-
doing. You were really doing.
Oh,
that.
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
this isn't. This wasn't fly by
High
night.
level
Yeah,
counterfeiting.
but it wasn't exactly legal because
It's not even
It's
counterfeiting.
not legal now.
I didn't have the rights. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't. Yeah, but I think my justification was, and I'm sure you justified it as. How did you justify the crime? Did
It's
you
fun.
Just running money.
just fun?
It was
You know why
fun.
Willie Sutton was a famous bank robber who was also escaped
Sure.
from prisons famously.
Okay.
And he repeatedly would go back to robbing banks. And they asked him, "Why do you rob
Mhm.
banks?" And you know what his answer was?
What do you say?
That's where the money is.
That's a good point.
And that's
But
what
were you like,
happens.
this is a victimless crime? They're insured. Like no one's. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
hurting
it's not a
anybody.
big deal. Who's my big failing was who's going to recognize me?
Sure.
You know, I'm just like anybody else. You know, I'm not wearing a Yankee hat. You know,
Right. Right.
I'm not doing anybody any disrespect.
Yeah.
I had one where I had grown a little goatee.
Okay.
And that was one I did when I did 2 in one day. And I did the first one, and then I went and shaved.
Oh wow.
And then I went and did another one because I figured, well, he won't recognize me because I have a goatee.
Yeah. I mean,
But
looking
You
back,
didn't have a goatee when you robbed it the first time, so
No, yes.
looking back, would you have covered your
kept
face?
the goatee.
It's hard. It's not many ways to cover your face
Well, you
without.
get a bandana now. That would have
Oh,
worked.
now
Or
Not
now,
you,
now.
but back in the day, it's not like you can like walk into a thing with because they do say you'll see signs up all
a
over a
good
bank.
point.
I
that-
always wanted to rob.
you know,
face
that's a good
coverings.
point. In while you're in line, yeah, you can't wear a bandana, and they're like, well,
I
that guy's gonna rob the
always
place.
want to rob a bank
point.
on Halloween because it just seems like a no-brainer. But now, I mean, every day is Halloween now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and now you really feel like that's the only fun thing that I do is I put this on, and it's cool because I feel like
Stick them up. Yeah.
Kid Colt Outlaw.
Yeah, my justification for selling the Batman DVD is like, all right, it wasn't out officially; it was tied up in legal battles.
Yes, I remember that.
And that's why they couldn't put it out.
Yeah, it
And-
was Fox Greenway and 20th Century Fox Greenway. And I heard that Nelson Riddle was also
Oh, okay.
because of the
music, right?
the music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 3 people, and then I was like,
Neil-
all right, well, I'm getting this out to real fans. Like
Yeah.
the real fans should
You're
have
doing
these,
something, for
and I'm going to
people, yeah.
provide it to them, at a small premium. I got to take a little money for my
You
effort.
got to have a taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it went well for almost a year, and then they started cracking down
Yeah.
and started banning accounts and things like that. And I was like,
I'm
all right,
a-
like,
I'm a long ago pirate from everything from software to
oh sure,
music. And I just
sure.
I have no qualms
Sure.
about other people's rights concerning those.
Well, we don't have to talk about that. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So
That's stuff that's going on now.
right on. If anybody else has any questions, throw them up online. Daniel, you have any questions for? No questions.
Now he's like, I'm hungry. I want to go home.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. This is great, man.
Yeah, this has been great.
It's
2
great.
hours went by like
Okay.
bada bing.
Yeah, you're invited to come back anytime. We don't have to talk about
We
it.
never
talk
talked
about
about Mark
anything.
Belanger. He was great, by the way.
Oh, it's a baseball player. Yeah.
Greatest defensive shortstop of all time.
I would probably
Him and Ozzie Smith.
the Wizard. Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Cool. You guys
And
can
Mark
talk
Belanger
baseball.
smoked cigarettes. That was his.
I think a lot of baseball players did, which
Yeah.
was the funniest thing. So out of shape.
smoking butts. Yeah.
You could play baseball, and be 300 pounds, and be a Hall of Famer even. So
Yeah, look at Babe Ruth.
yeah, like Babe Ruth,
18,
yeah.
Best story
18
on the
cigars,
right now.
man.
Right now,
Yep.
well, it was Trey Mancini, but he's recovering from colon cancer right now. So they discovered it before spring training. So that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
But we'll talk soon. But thanks for watching, everybody. Daniel, thank you for making us sound awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
Couldn't have done it
thanks,
without
Daniel.
you.
And
Did great.
you can hit that end broadcast. It'll confirm it, and